From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is The Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, comedians Tom Arnold and Jodi Miller. And now, because his childhood room was a porch, he was technically one of the unhoused. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on a Choice Big On mandate. Get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing. I saw the ratings went up, so thanks very much for that. Skinny Jodi Miller back in studio, and our old friend Tom Arnold has joined us as well. Tom, always a great delight to speak to because he's an open book. And I just heard, speaking of open books, I was talking to one of my producers. They were talking about a series you were doing with your sister, who is a pretty incredible story.
Yeah.
Tom's story is pretty incredible, where he grew up, how he grew up, some of the things he did after he grew up to avenge his childhood, which is insane. I don't know if you know this one, Jodi.
I don't.
It's pretty miraculous. And then the direction your sister went, and then her collecting herself and coming resurrection of her. Can we tap into some of that?
Yep. Well, the Queen of Meth is the docuseries, 3 episodes that my sister and I did. She was the biggest drug dealer. The DEA guy said she's Pablo Escobar, except with meth. She was the biggest drug dealer in America.
In America?
Yes. And had quite an operation. And people are always like, hey, Tom, was it embarrassing that your sister was a drug dealer? And I say, not when I was doing drugs, it wasn't. It was very handy.
Yes.
And she's interesting. She went to prison a couple times for long periods. She went once and then got out and started dealing again. But she's doing very well now, and people like her. You know, when she was 14, our mom was a lunatic. It's in there. Mom was a lunatic, and our mom didn't raise us. My dad raised us. But because I knew she was she was married 7 times, more than me, alcoholic, drug addict. I mean, the first drugs we did was with our mom, of course, as it should be. But I moved in with her when I was 15 because I wanted to fucking drink and grow my hair.
Right.
Like I was under no illusion that she was a mother. And she would say, I'm not maternal. I won't tell you I love you, but once in a while I'll tap you on the knee, whatever that fucking means.
How? This is your sister?
This is my mom.
Oh, your mom.
Yeah. And then my sister, Lori, followed me over there. And she thought my mom was a hero. Like, my dad made one mistake. When my mom would come over after they divorced, drunk, crazy, falling into the Christmas tree, he would just laugh. Now, I knew at that time, by the time I was 4, I knew, oh, yeah, she's not a mother like that. But my sister, she was her idol. So she moves in with mom. First thing mom does is make her marry. She's 14.
Oh, my God.
Make her marry a 22-year-old guy, pedophile from the skating rink. And then her life was like, she'd done great in life right up till then. She was a great student, athlete. And then suddenly my mom's like, you got 3 choices. I'm getting the guy arrested. You could break up with him, or you could marry him. And, you're 14, you're stupid. You're like, oh, I will, let's go to Missouri and I will marry him. And then her life was off the rails. She got into, he beat her up on their wedding night. By the way, he died in a mysterious fire in his own bed. That's, this is one of those unsolved mysteries in a small town where somebody's an asshole long enough and he was hooking up with 12-year-old girls and then suddenly he was dead.
So, would fall under the heading of frontier justice?
Yes.
Like if you were working, if you're the cop working the case, there'd be a frontier justice file. He would probably land into that file.
Yes, he would land there. And after him, once you've dropped out of junior high to get married, it's hard to go back. Yeah. Yes. So she had to be kind of on her own and with my mom, her drinking buddy, and she eventually got into a little prostitution, whatever it took. She realized early, she was very smart. She goes, this drug stuff, I see people dealing the drugs at the poker games I go to hook up with guys, and how does that work? And so she started doing that, and she said, well, I could do this better. I could do this, make this a real thing. And so, in the same way I wanted to be an actor or a comedian, that was her thing. And then she hooked up with the president of the Grim Reaper motorcycle gang. Like all her boyfriends were these huge fucking bikers who, just hated me. I hated them. But then she hooked up with Floyd Stockdale, who was the president of the Grim Reaper motorcycle gang, and he tried to murder her. And but of course, she went back with him. Got bailed him out, gave him a kiss, and he shot at her and her baby, by the way. And so, but she realized I need this guy to help me. Because he's got all these bikers going back and forth to the West Coast. Mm-hmm. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to have them drug mule all the stuff. And, I used to think it was all his fault. And then I kind of, took a look at what really happened with the DA. By the way, the cops were working for my sister. Our seventh stepdad was the chief of police.
Wow.
Delmer, who, again, hated me, but the cops loved my sister. So she had a biker bar called the Wild Side that all these nefarious individuals would go, and it was cops and bikers. Mm-hmm. And because they went back and forth and they'd do anything, I realized my sister was the boss. I went over one day to visit, and Floyd, her badass husband, he was like a Green Beret. He was was packing up a briefcase of money. And he's like, oh, I go, what's that about? He goes, oh, your sister's making me drive to Vegas to pay off a judge.
Wow.
I mean, he was very sad dogging it.
Your sister was like a real life Breaking Bad. Like this whole story. Like that's
she started buying meth, and then she's like, well, fuck this. Let's build a lab underground at our farm.
Yeah.
Let's bring in a real scientist, a real chemist, and do this huge. And during the 80s, late 80s, the economy was so shitty in my town. The meatpacking plant I'd worked at, Hormel, on the kill floor for 3 years, we'd got on strike. And they just fired everybody and changed the name of the outside of the building to XL, and then just recruited everybody from Mexico to work there.
Has this given you? I've cited my bad jobs and my horrible past as a way to sort of turn lemons into lemonade. When people say to me, gee, you sold out the first 4 shows in Naples. You want to add a 5th? And I go, yeah, add a 5th. And I go, why are you working so much? I go, I'm not. I'm standing in air conditioning, telling jokes.
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, but 3 shows in one night? It's like, yeah. But you worked at the Hormel factory.
Yes.
And I get back to this as a sort of repeated theme, which is, you don't want your kids to go through what you went through, but you want them to have a base, base of misery to reflect upon. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yes.
To go, yes, now people are in the audience and they're laughing and they're cheering, or they'll go like, oh, you got to get up so early to do that radio tour. Like from my bathrobe in my big house, like I'm talking on the phone. Why is that falling under the heading of misery and or work? But when all things are relative, then there's nothing to base their current non-job or misery on. You know?
That's very true.
Do you do that? Do you try to synthesize that? Or is just you being a dad enough to cause a certain baseline of misery for them?
Well, that does it, being
just Tom Arnold's your dad. We're there.
But it's helpful because it's in your head. You do 3 years on the kill floor of meatpacking, but you remember what that was like. I knew early on when I said to my dad, I need some money. And he's like, I pull his pockets out. I don't have any money. So I do, I better start baling hay or detasseling cord or whatever. So, because I want money, And so I knew early on that I had to do it. I had to pay my way through college. I'd have to do all this stuff. I think that I don't want my kids to have that baseline. But then I also think about when I started comedy, how shitty that was. Like, $15 for a night, traveling around, sleeping on couches, doing all this stuff. And I loved it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a rite of passage for all kids and young adults to have jobs that they don't love and they can appreciate. People that have to do it no matter what. You have to. I don't understand kids that never had a job in high school, never had a job in college, and I didn't need to. My parents were able to pay for my college, but I still wanted my own money to buy my own things.
Yeah. Well, let's take Jodi's mom, because we're just coming off of Mother's Day.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And then let's take Tom's mom as another extreme.
Oh, yes.
So we'll have a sort of right and a left of this graph. And let's see if we can figure out where my mom fits in.
That's
because
fair.
she's definitely in between.
Okay.
I don't think there's a person in America whose mom doesn't land between Jodi's mom and Tom Arnold's mom.
Yeah, that's true.
We're all going to land somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So, Jodi, your mom was good, right?
My mom is dead.
Yeah.
Yes,
right.
but she
well,
was
I said
good.
was.
Oh, I thought you said is good.
She's excellent.
She's great now. No, she was very good. She was very good. She instilled a lot of amazing values in me. But she did. She suffered from depression though, which I didn't realize. So I became a people pleaser. So she wasn't the perfect mom, but she was. She really taught me a lot of great life lessons, and one of them being, if you want something, earn money to get it. Like, they're going to get me the essentials and they're going to get me gifts on my birthday and stuff like that. But I wanted a pair of Guess jeans, which at the time were like $80 in the 80s. And they were like, we're not buying those for you, but you can get a job. And I did. I got a job at Dunkin' Donuts. And I was a shift manager.
I like Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, but then 6 months later, you couldn't fit into the Guess jeans. You're eating too many donut holes. What? All right, so... Was your mom any substance abuse issues?
No, she definitely had no substance abuse issues, but she was a smoker, which eventually took her life.
Yep.
She was a smoker. She barely drank. My dad wasn't a big drinker. In fact, no one in my family, suffered from substance abuse. So I didn't have any of that growing up. I didn't see any of that until I was older and, around other people that did drugs and stuff like that. So yes.
I was regaling someone on Mother's Day a story of my mom on Mother's Day, which is, for me, I kind of go through life this way. I don't need to see the full scrapbook or the full yearbook. I just can take a look at a page or two and kind of understand who everyone is.
Right.
Now, women, for instance, I always use this as an example, but like if you had a guy show up to your home for a date.
Yes.
And you were saying, oh, just give me a minute. I'll be right out. I'm just going to run to the bathroom or something. And he's petting your dog and acting all nice and cheerful and everything. And then you catch a glimpse of him in the mirror kicking the dog when the dog's you don't need more.
No,
we don't need to check FICO scores. Nope. We don't need to know about ex relationships. He kicked your dog. There's a little snapshot of who he is.
Yep.
And you're done.
Yep.
Pussy dry. No. No.
Pussy so dry.
Pussy so dry. The greatest Bond villain ever.
Pussy so dry. That's the Bond right now, yes.
And no second date, maybe not the first date, right? All right. So I'll give you this little snapshot in my mom's life.
Yeah.
And we'll look at it as a metaphor for a bigger, for a lifestyle and a way of dealing with people. And you tell me.
Okay.
And look, you can agree, you can disagree, you can defend, you can indict, whatever it is. But it was, I haven't told this story in a while, but it was Mother's Day 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. And I showed up to my grandmother's home. The only people in the home for Mother's Day was Grandma, Mom, that was her mom, my sister, myself, and stepdad. So there was a skeleton crew of essential family members. I brought a bottle of Dom Perignon champagne because, as Tom knows, and Jodi to some extent, when you wrap production or you're starting a new season or whatever, you just got the basket with the Dom in it, and it was always too good and too expensive for me to sit and drink at home. I would just put it aside and then gift it to people. So I showed up with the Dom Perignon, and I didn't present it. I just sort of set it down in the entry bench. And at some point, my mom wandered over to it, maybe an hour in, and she likes her champagne, and she said, oh, Adam has brought a beautiful bottle of Dom Perignon. Like, what a treat. May we share this, with the family? And I said, yeah, but it's yours because it's your Mother's Day gift. And she went, oh, okay. And she hid it under her sweater.
Oh, I like that.
And brought it home.
I like that.
You like that, right?
Adam,
only her family, and she wanted it.
No, I get that. The most important question is, did you know that your mother loved you?
No.
Really?
No, my mom was damaged goods and needed to take care of herself.
Right.
This is the problem with having a damaged goods parent. Their world revolves around repairing themselves,
right,
nurturing themselves, looking after themselves, and that doesn't involve driving you to your friend's house because they're trying to repair what had happened to them. So be careful with the damaged parent one. But what does it say?
What can you do? You got this, your parent. Like, this can't be like, oh, I got a damaged good wife. Let's get the fuck out of this.
Yeah.
It's your mom, so you're like, but if the fact you figured that out is good.
Yeah, I figured, I think kids are pretty intuitive that way.
Yep.
Kids and pets, as Jodi and I were talking off the air, they kind of go, there's nothing here. You become like a stray cat, and there's no saucer of milk at that crappy apartment.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll just keep going until I find apartment with a saucer of milk on it. So it was that. But this one incident, what does that say? I mean, I know, Tom, there's a part of you that likes it.
Yeah, I do.
As an ex,
my mom would have chugged it.
Your mom would have chugged it.
And then said, your sister gave me 2 bottles.
Right.
She bought all my furniture. I go, she's a fucking drug dealer. But anyway, I would have.
Jodi, how say you?
I mean, your mom clearly thinks of herself first. It's the first thing on her mind. This is now mine. If it was for everybody, she was excited. She did ask if we could share this and open this, but the second she learned it was for her, in her mind, she was like, me first, me only.
Well, no, hold on. It's Mother's Day. It was for her.
It was, but
it's her special gift from her fucking son. Man.
Exactly.
She did. You don't always know the proper gift etiquette when something's left in the entryway like that, and you're like, oh, this is amazing. I'm going to respect you so much, son, that I'm going to keep this for later. That's what I get.
I might have had an open heart and an open mind to that conversation. She hid it.
So she went out of her way to hide it. Now, my mom, what she would have done, she drank, she would have probably had a glass. Oh my God, this is for me? That's so sweet. I want to share this with everyone to share in my day. Now, his mom hid it. So not only was she like, this is mine, she's like, I don't want anyone else to see it, because then if they ask me, I'm going to feel obligated to pour them a glass. So if no one sees it, she's got it. It's hidden.
That's the way it should be, though. I respect that. She's like, this is so important. Here's my fucking family here. Fuck those guys. I may have a friend come over, I want to show up. Look what my son Adam gave me. Would you like to share this with me?
Yeah, you just said that.
That's a big moment.
Share it. You just said it, though. Would you like to share this with me?
Yeah.
So when you hide something, you don't want to share that.
No, not with him, but with her friends or whatever. No, let me tell you, that what I learned about having the life growing up I did, it's because things happen in our bigger lives. And for the last 5 years, the kids and I'm a single dad. I'm 64. The kids are 10 and 7. We've downsized our life significantly, house after house. We had a big house in Beverly Hills, and the truth is, the kids and I were living in the master suite area. That's the part of the house we used. So as we started downsizing because of finances, it was okay for me because I'm here and I can see the kids and we can do this. But the kids have a couple times said, "Man, I miss that mansion," they call it.
Right.
And do you think we'll ever get back there? My son actually said, "Do you think we could? Do you think they have tours we could actually take so I could remember?" And, but I do remember being very fucking poor and scraping together pennies and dimes and quarters. And I don't want to do that again. But I think once you've been that poor, you're like it's all a win after that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? So we know a lot about your mom. What was your dad like? Was he the polar opposite? Did he, drink, do drugs, do anything? What was he like when you?
My dad, he was the opposite.
He was the opposite.
He didn't do. He was a very nice guy. They were. My parents were married when he was 18 and she was 16. Okay. And then I was born by the time he was 22, he had a 4-year-old son, a 3-year-old daughter, and a 6-month-old baby.
Wow.
That's what he raised. And I used to think, God, he worked too much. He didn't play with us enough. But then once I had kids, I'm like, oh, shit. I also thought later in life when I started getting arrested, he'd have to bail me out of jail. My friends would be like, I bet that hurts your dad's feelings. I go, he doesn't give a shit. Mm-hmm. The second my son was born, I went, oh, he did give a shit. Mm-hmm. He gives a shit about everything. So he was genuinely a nice, respected guy. He eventually, when I was 10, married the next door neighbor because he couldn't date with all these kids, and that was rough. She was not a fan of me, but he asked us before, do you care if I marry Ruth? And we talked, and we wanted him to be happy, in spite of us feeling like this might not be good for us. First of all, we're jealous. We're losing our dad. But it was the right thing, and he was a very nice guy.
And when did he pass?
He passed 7 years ago, right before my daughter was born. He was a smoker for many years, and I got him to quit. My mom never quit, other people in my family, but I got him to quit. I had to come out here. They remember those body scans you used to have? Yeah. They were sort of shady, but you go in there, they supposedly will tell you everything's wrong with it. I called the guy up and I said, when you do my dad's body scan, make sure his lungs are black. Like, whatever you got to do. And it scared him enough that he stopped smoking right there. He started chewing Nicorette, the really shitty Nicorette, but it did scare him. And when he never complained about anything, but I could tell he was having issues with his breathing. And I called him, it was a Wednesday from out here, and I could tell he was having issues. I said, I said, you need to go to the doctor right now. And he's like, Tommy, the mobile oncology unit will be in Ottumwa in 3 months. So I'm just going to wait for that. And I'm like, fuck that. And I said, an ambulance is coming to get you right now to take you to the real hospital. We lived in Ottumwa, Iowa, small town. They're taking you to Des Moines tonight. And he gets up there, and Thursday morning, the doctor checks him out and says, he's got cancer everywhere. How is he even walking around? And so the blessing is I got to fly in, our whole family got 4 days. Like, that's how long he had. 4 days with him. And a lot of people don't get that. And a funny thing happened. You know, by then, my dad he used to be big, and now he's all small and whatever. And he's in bed, and he's got to use the potty. And so my 4 younger brothers scatter because they're huge pussies. And so I carry my dad in, put him on the toilet. He's doing his business. I got the toilet paper there. I'm like, you know what? This is full circle time. So I got toilet paper, and I wiped his ass. I put my hand between his legs, and we made eye contact like it was so intimate. I'm like, well, he used to do this for me. You know, this is this anyway. So afterwards, I carry him back to bed, and about 3 hours later, my stepmother gets up there, and he's got to use the potty again. And so I pick him up, carry the old man, put him on the toilet. I'm getting the toilet paper ready to go. And my stepmother's like, Tommy, what are you doing? I go, well, I'm going to wipe Dad's butt. She's like, why? He wipes his own butt. I go, I didn't know he could still wipe his own butt. Like, so I had that, but you know, but he was a sweet guy, and people loved him, and he was the head of the Cancer Association in my town, but he smoked, and he's like, I went back to do a benefit for them. He's like, Tommy, please don't mention that he smoked up there. Right. And of course, that's all I talk about.
Of course. Yeah. It's his fault for bringing it up.
But yeah.
I have a interesting, another little window into the Carolla family that does involve hospitalization, which is, I had this bizarre conversation with my mom and my stepdad, it was probably about 5 years before my mom died. Now, my family's a group of atheists. Somebody said to me the other day, geez, where's your mom buried? I said, nowhere. Like, we don't, they're in the Neptune Society. When is there a wake or funeral or something? Like, no, there's no wake, there's no funeral. In my family, you die, you leave. That's it. There's no candles kindled. There's no cake cut. There's just, you're gone. There are no kind words. You're gone. And so, and they're also kind of atheist stoic about it. You know, like my mom is saying to me, look, if I end up in the hospital and, you know, I'm in rough shape, you got to make sure that they understand that they got the do not resuscitate message. And it's not enough to just tell the nursing station. You got to post it on the door. You know, they got to know that if there's flatlining going on, they're hearing the beep, you know, and they come rushing in, they're not going to check with the nursing station. You got to post it on the door where it's clearly visible. And I said, done and done, you know, and she said, yeah, we don't want another situation like grandma, her mom. I said, what was the situation with her mom? I said, well, it's a pretty bad situation. I said, what happened? I wasn't there. She goes, well, she was in the hospital. This is her mom. She was in rough shape. She had to do not resuscitate. They didn't post it on the door. They just told the nursing station. She said, we're sitting with her. She was getting near the end. And we just went down to the lobby to get a cup of coffee, and she flatlined.
Oh, God.
And I said, yeah. And then when we got back, they'd resuscitated her. I said, oh, that's tragic. She said, yeah, you should be suing the hospital. God. I don't know why you're talking to me.
Your mom's hilarious.
Her mom, literally, the example she was giving of heartache was that her mom was still alive when she got back from the Starbucks. And I was like,
that's funny though, man.
I wish she was being funny. She was trying to drive a point home, which is we made a mistake. We didn't write in big block letters on the door, "Let this bitch die." And we came back and she was alive.
God damn it.
Well, 3 years, a little over 3 years ago, March, this last March, I was on life support. I got February 8th of 2020, I got COVID, influenza B, and some other virus. And, I started feeling funny before I went to bed, and then was having a little trouble breathing. I'm like, I'm going to make myself go to sleep. And I thought, I'm not going to make myself go to sleep. I'm going to drive down to UCLA. And then a little bit, I'm like, I should call an ambulance. So the ambulance came. By the time the ambulance guys got there, I couldn't even tell them what was going on because I couldn't breathe, right? Mm-hmm. We get down there, and then I was out. And I wake up at ICU, kind of trying to figure it all out. I have all these machines on me, an ECMO, a kidney machine, all this stuff, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And so then my brother came in, and I still had my ex-wife as my person that makes my medical decisions. I hadn't changed that since the divorce or some reason. And Marty Singer, my attorney, came by, and he looked at that, and he goes, oh, shit. And he went right over to her house and had her sign in the middle of the night that she was no longer in charge of pulling the plug. Mm-hmm. Because, and it was funny because my son told me later, when Mom heard, she cried. I go, that's sweet. He goes, no, she cried because you're still alive. My kids get it. But I thought about that. And I did just do a will. And I do... you see miracles happen. You know what? I don't want to waste my whatever money I have or don't have that my kids could use on just keeping me alive. If I'm brain dead for sure. But if there's a chance, I do want them to try it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd like to see them try. I said many years ago that the life support stuff in the hospital should be coin operated, and then we'll find out who really loves you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Putting the coins in. But what if you can't? Finding change nowadays is so difficult.
Well, this joke is 20 years old. Okay. Now we'd be using
credit cards,
Bitcoin, or you'd swipe an Amex card.
I feel like when a loved one or yourself are in a hospital, the strangest shit happens. Like when my mom was admitted, and it was a month after she was admitted. She had breathing problems. She was a smoker. She had stopped smoking, but by that time it was too late. And she went in for something else, and they sort of trached her because she couldn't breathe. And I got the call, and I flew out to Reno. She was in Reno. And I get there, and she had a very good friend who was a born again. And we're Jewish, but we're Jew-ish. We're not, religious. But I walk into a room. My mom is like kind of out of it. She's on morphine. And there's a priest sitting next to her and her friend. And I hear him saying, do you accept Jesus Christ into your... And I walk in and I go, what the hell are you doing? Right to the... And he goes, your mom... First of all, she lasted a month after that. She was just so out of it. And he's like, I want to know if your mom accepts Jesus Christ into her heart. I'm like, we're Jewish and she's on morphine. Right. She would accept a unicorn in her fucking heart right now. What are you doing? And he wouldn't leave. I had to get some. I'm like, you need to get out of here and never come back. And I went to get something to eat, and he was like hovering around the room.
What is the point of him doing that? I don't know. Does he think in their crazy heads, if you do that, you go to heaven. If you don't, you don't. That's fucking disgusting. I'm surprised Adam isn't born again with the family he grew up with. You always go the opposite. I'm Jewish too, and people bring up Jesus. I'm like, he was a great fucking Jew, man.
He was a great Jew.
He's like Martin Luther King, man.
He's a great Jew. This table.
But then they've grabbed a hold of Jesus and use it for their own benefit.
I wish I was religious. I always did.
No, you don't.
I just never. There's nothing there for me.
We're religious. Also, I don't know. I know it was her friend that really, because we had a discussion about it later, and she was a good friend of my mom, but she was desperately trying to convert my mom before my mom died because she's like, I want to see her in the afterlife. I'm like, she doesn't want to see you. Like, stop with this. She just literally, like, you just assume that she wants to hang out with you in the afterlife.
She's on morphine too, and you really are. That's not making a real commitment. Getting somebody on morphine to say, to
commit. And here was the.
Oh, you could have sold her Herbalife.
And she'd be like, yes, I accept Herbalife into my life. So this was the best. It was one of the weeks I was flying in and out and trying to do as much stand up as I could. Yeah. And I was flying in and out to Reno every week, and we had this one conversation. Her friend, who was a good friend to her, but the whole born again, Christ, everything. So I said, we were talking about something, and I made just a very offhanded comment. I'm like, well, if that's how the universe wants it to be, then that's how it's going to be. I just said that. Okay, threw it away. Hours go by. We have dinner. We go out. She's driving me back to my mom's house, and as I'm getting out of the car, I'm getting out. She's like, Jodi. I'm like, yeah. She goes, it's not the universe. It's only God.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
She held on to that for hours.
I think anybody that believes in the rapture should not be in government for sure, because they don't give a fuck. They should not be responsible for people, because like, I got this great thing going where Jesus comes back and I get a mansion in heaven or whatever the fuck it is. So I really don't care about, let's do a nuclear war. That gets Jesus back here quicker.
Yeah, you're
I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. And maybe I can dovetail it into my thoughts about I keep thinking about what Elon Musk and I think about Elon, I think about Bezos. There's a third. They're all trying to escape the planet.
Yeah, they are. They're trying to guess.
I keep wondering what they know.
They know something.
Or
they're going to do something. Yes, they know something, or they're a part of something.
Like in a desperate attempt to move off of the earth.
Quickly.
And I'm kind of wondering, and there are also guys that would definitely know some insider trading.
Yes.
Like if the shit was going down pretty soon, Elon, Bezos, they probably know a few people.
Yeah.
But
what do you want to do? The shit's going down, do you want to be the one guy in space that's fucking flying out there? Or let's say you could build a little colony somewhere with like 10 people, have dethroned shit and everything. Would it be better just to take your chances with whatever?
Well, now you sound like the born-again congressman. All right, let's take a quick break, because we have this story that Jodi really wanted to get into, and I wanted to get into, and I feel like Tom's perfect for it as well, which is employers talking about hiring old people now and how much better they are.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break, except for in porn. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back right after this. Simply Safe, spring is here and vacation season is next. But before you pack your bags, secure your home with Simply Safe. Yes, leave town with peace of mind, knowing your home is protected. They've been a sponsor for over a decade. We all use it. We all love it. Peel and stick, mount it easy, very ergonomic. Batteries last up to 10 years. No pulling wires, no drilling. And only Simply Safe offers the Fast Protect technology that allows agents to visually verify the threat, make sure it's real, and convey that evidence to 911 when you get the fast police dispatch that way. It ships right to your door. You can set it up yourself in about 30 minutes. Customize your perfect system. Do it in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/Adam. Go there and get the free indoor security camera plus 20% off when you order interactive monitoring. That is simplysafe.com/Adam. Viator experiences are what people love most about travel. I mean, God, taking my son fishing in Alaska. That was so amazing. I'll never forget it. Viator, it's a website and app for booking travel experiences, like seeing Stonehenge or a walking tour of Rome. Over 300,000 bookable experiences in 190 countries. Millions of real travelers' reviews. So you have the information you need to book the best activities for your trip. With Viator, there's always flexibility and support with free cancellation, payment options, and 24/7 service. So let's get out there and experience life, shall we? Download the Viator app now and use the code Viator 10. Get 10% off your first booking. One app, over 300,000 experiences you'll never forget. Do more with Viator.
The Adam Carolla Show presents Tom Arnold's birthday cocktail party for March 6th. Let's see who's invited. Let's welcome Italian sculptor, painter, architect, and poet, Michelangelo. The French playwright and novelist known for his large nose, Cyrano de Bergerac. The founder of Target is here, George Dayton. The king of Western swing is here, from the Texas Playboys, Bob Wills. Lou Costello is here. Let's welcome American economist Alan Greenspan. Stuntman Hal Needham just joined the party. The first woman in space, Soviet cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova. From the Supremes, Mary Wilson is here. From Pink Floyd, let's welcome David Gilmour. Kiki D, Rob Reiner, blues guitarist Walter Trout, D.L. Hughley, and four-time NBA champion Shaquille O'Neal. Tom Arnold is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Wow, that's rarefied air.
That, Shaq was my next door neighbor the whole time he played for the Lakers.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, very nice guy. And at the time, I think I was with my third wife. We were trying to have a baby. I have a low sperm count. And so I'd bring those cups home, and to try to put some whatever in it. And I remember looking out at Shaq and his kids. They're beautiful. And in Iowa, if you wanted to borrow a cup of sugar from your neighbor, you go up to the house and say, may I borrow a cup of sugar? They're like, okay, hell yeah. And I have those little cups, and I said to myself, sack up and get a cup of Shaq. Because if you had a 7-foot-tall black side,
that would have been the greatest.
Would that have been great?
Been
like,
so
I'm
great.
dead serious.
I don't need sugar. I need your sperm.
Yeah.
Shack it up.
It's a big deal to get it. It wasn't a big deal for me in college just to give it.
Right.
Yeah, you
I
gave it
tried
up.
to donate. That's why I found out I had a low sperm count. I wanted to donate it all the time, get paid.
When I was trying to get pregnant, and this is only because I'm a comedian, I made this joke, and no one except the nurses found it funny. I would have to bring sperm. I got sperm from a sperm bank. It was frozen, and I would rush it over when I was ovulating, and they were like, bring it over here. And one time I walked in, and this guy came out clearly from a room with a full bag of it, and I said, do you have any extra?
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
And the looks of the people in the waiting room were horrified. Yeah. The nurses were laughing, and I was like, "That's a joke." But you definitely have extra.
Well, it's so weird to go in that room. You're in a medical facility. They're like, "Okay, go here." And I always brought my own porn. Girls Who Like Girls, number 69, because their porn there is on. And this is like you go in there, people know what's happening when you come out. You're all flushed.
Talk about dry pussy.
Yeah. I thought you were going to do the old joke when the nurse said, "Where's the sperm?" You go,
should have. I did. I had many a joke. I carry it in and be like, "Oh, I've always got to take my boyfriend everywhere."
Yeah.
I mean, people just like
it was stressful trying to have a baby. Though,
I don't want to drill down too much on this, but as long as we're on it, I've had a lot of thoughts about guys needing to be able to masturbate standing up.
That's very true.
I will liken it. I wish I slept on my back. I sleep in the most uncomfortable way possible, and in a way where you can never fall asleep on a mode of transportation. Mm-hmm. Like I
can't either. I can't sleep on any.
I've had flights that I've done shows where I got back to the hotel at 1 a.m. and we're like meeting in the lobby in Philly at 4:15 for like a 6 a.m. flight back, and it's a 6.5 hour flight, and I wish I could lean back and fall asleep, but I sleep on my belly with my hands like mashed underneath my head. It's an horrible position to sleep in, but it also precludes you from falling asleep anywhere else because you sleep on your face, and it's impossible to do that on a mode of transportation. I would say the same thing for masturbation. For those who cannot rub one out in the standing position, a curse upon your house. You will be plagued.
Yeah, that's true.
You know why? Because there's no summer camp where you can rub one out in the shower.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no sperm donation without you flopping out on a cot or air mattress or something like in an office. Like, if you can't rub one out standing up, you are in trouble as an adult male.
But it sounds...
Once you can do it standing up, the world is your oyster.
But it's not preferred, right? You guys don't prefer to like jerk off standing up, do you?
Well, okay, let's drill down.
Let's jerk down.
Hygienically, it's a much easier
road
to hoe. And certainly if you're trying to make it into a cup or something, it's a lot.
Really?
It's a lot easier.
It's sad. That's such it hits the end of your penis, the cup, the rib of it. You're like, oh, and it's hard to know. Am I gonna? Is this gonna? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it in this cup because you'd rather just ejaculate without the pressure of trying to aim it into this cup.
The workplace masturbation is completely off the table.
Okay.
If you're a back dweller. The shower masturbation, the thing where you have a fucking roommate when you're 19 and you got the one bathroom and you share one bedroom or something. You go into the shower and rub one out.
I understand that, but it's like standing up seems really uncomfortable.
It's hard.
Don't you want to just
do
like
it.
sit?
Well, the real perk is you get to look at yourself in the mirror.
Oh, that's disgusting. Okay,
with the one eyebrow up
my
in the air,
kids still usually
holding
sleep
a martini glass with a free hand.
My kids still usually sleep in my bed, so I have to get up after their sleep and go into the other bathroom, and I have to do it standing up. So you bring your iPad. I have to stack a bunch of towels to put the iPad on so I can see it because my eyes aren't that good.
Yeah,
and so there's a whole system.
Yes.
And a whole thing, and but you do get used to it.
Yeah.
I guess it just sounds, when I hear about a guy jerking off standing up, it seems creepy. It seems like he's in the bushes.
Well, there's a lot of guys that could just jerk off. I mean, what about Louis C.K.? He just walks in a room and starts jerking off. Like, when he got in trouble for that, I'm like, oh, that's rule number one. If you're a boy at school, like high school, junior high, you're like, I'm not going to get caught jerking off. Like, that's going to be the rest of my life. And then to go, oh, no, I think people like to see this. Mm-hmm. I think women would like to see this.
No.
There's a missing thing, and it turns out they don't.
No, we don't.
No.
Yeah.
But still, you have to admire the bravado of the guy who can pull it off.
Right.
Like in front of an audience or a potted plant or something.
Finished to completion. That's actually impressive.
Yeah, like I got the low battery chirp going off on the smoke detector. It's like, all right, I gotta fix this. I gotta concentrate here. Staff poll, Dawson. Ben, can everyone pull one off standing up?
Can do. If necessary, can do.
It's on your screen.
Oh, it's on my screen. All right. We got two laying down, we got two standing up.
It just is more comfortable.
Wait a minute. Two laying down, two no preference. I'm not insisting that you need to be able to do it all the time standing up. Mm-hmm. I'm saying there's going to be occasions.
Okay, that's fine.
There's going to be long overseas flights. There's going to be, we need a sample. Yeah,
but a sample, can't you just sit down? Isn't there a nice chair? A nice comfortable chair?
Chair's weird.
I don't.
Really? Chairs?
Yeah.
Chair's weird. I don't know that sitting down is a taller order than standing up. Mm-hmm. Pardon the pun.
Mm-hmm.
What's the easiest? Laying down's the easiest.
Of course.
Right? Just laying down's the easiest.
When I was on life support in the hospital, I knew I was going to live when I was able to jerk off. Now, I knew that there's
Did you
whatever.
jerk off on life support?
I just wanted to know that I was like fucking going to live, man. Right? Then I was like, okay, I got this. Then I get off this machine. I can get the number. If I could do this. And there's like a curtain between, because you're, Did
you tell the doctor? I did it.
No, but my doctor's a buddy of mine. I'm sure he would have. I'm sure he probably does it too.
It's a sign of health and virility.
It is.
Vitality as well.
Yeah.
You rubbed one out in a hospital bed.
Yes.
Did you tilt it up?
No, I mean, it was tilted up a little bit, and I also had a thing implanted into my groin. Like, one of the things they had to sew in there. So I was working with a little, then you got the nurses coming in at night. You're kind of trying to get something going by.
They come back in 15 minutes. You got to get them in that, rotation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I was like, I'm going to live. I'm going to get these machines off me, the heart-lung machine.
Yeah.
And I was on a ventilator. I got this. But it is important to do that once. Do you watch porn?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. But specific.
Were you going to ask me and then you realized that?
Well, no, I want to ask you. Do you watch porn?
I do. Yes, you can.
Do you watch men having sex?
Men having sex with other men, or just men?
Or whatever. Yeah.
I watch Men having sex with women, women having sex with women.
Women have sex with women. I don't like seeing penises. If I had a great big penis, I'd be like, well, let's see what's going on. And by the way, men, you will send women pictures of their penis, even if it's not big.
Oh,
They're
I
like,
know.
look at this thing.
I know.
Brett Favre's like, check this shit out.
Guys love
That's weird.
taking pictures of it. You love it.
They do. That's.
It's like, I used to have a joke about that.
Wait a
Love
minute.
it.
So, Jodi, we could put you down for some lesbian porn on occasion.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, sure.
And Tom, you're one of those guys that doesn't want the dick in the porn.
No, I don't want it, and I like the what I do is there's some stuff on Twitter. If you search lesbian porn, there's little shorts, and that's all I need. I kind of go through the same. I know the women. We do the same thing.
Yeah.
For women of a certain age, though, now it's all about. It's got to be done quick. I don't have time to watch any part of this movie. Whatever this clip is going to be,
that's how it
just
is.
quick. But when you're younger, you're like, I'm going to watch lots of clips. Like, I'll keep going. Now I'm like, it's got to be short and fast. And a lot of times, if it's in the middle of the night, I don't need anything. I just got the brain. I'm very creative.
Oh, that's good. I could do that once in a while.
The important porn question. When you're watching porn, there's two ways to watch porn. There's you watching porn, imagining you're in the porn.
Never.
Like, that's
Yeah, that's
my
true.
dick.
That's
true.
She's sucking.
Yeah.
And then there is the I'm just watching porn.
Right.
And then there's a third strata, which is
You're directing the porn? You're the director?
AD, but yeah. I didn't like it.
Just want to work on the crew.
I have low self-esteem. I did craft service. Then there's like they're making the porn, and they're making the porn. Like, you're picturing there's a guy with a boom mic, probably wearing cutoffs.
Yes.
There's people around the porn
Yes.
watching the porn being made. So when I talk to guys will be like, I'm in the porn.
I would see that.
But I'm like, that's too big a leap.
Well,
for me.
the POV porn is pretty good, where it's another man's penis, but all you can see is his penis. You can't see his body or face. And she's down below pleasuring him, and it looks like she's looking at me. And I could once in a while get that going. Like, what would that be like in real life? That'd be amazing. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been. 6 years.
Well, they talk about VR goggles now.
yeah, they have them now for porn.
Yeah.
That's going to be weird, though, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of work. You get your Astroglide on the fucking goggles, man. You got to know, I'm going to get the Astroglide on my left hand for my nipples. So I'm going to do this because you want to have, however you're going to jerk off, you don't want to do both hands because then you got to, I always get a little towel, half warm water, half dry, just for a quick cleanup. You know what I mean? Like, bam, bam, bam. I
will say I would like to impart, 3 pieces of wisdom to any young man growing up in this country. Learn to fall asleep on your back. Learn to beat off standing up. And this, your reliance on lube is it's a deal with the devil.
Oh, slippery slope.
Well,
no pun intended.
It's going to cause a lot of heartache and possibly damage. The guys that are married to the lube will oftentimes be out of the lube in this situation.
Oh, yeah.
In which case, like an alcoholic drinking Sterno, they will go for the shampoo. And that will fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
Right
what about
there.
conditioner? Conditioner's a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm a Pert Plus guy. I like to do a shampoo conditioner combination.
The old combo.
No, I'm saying get away from the lube. It's a
spit. What about a spit?
Fine.
Okay.
But I would say in general, see if you can peel it off standing up minus the lube.
Dry.
Yes.
Standing
Do you
up.
like the lube?
Drying up.
Do you like the lube?
Yeah, I don't mind the lube. Sometimes it's just too much lube, and then you're like, what happened down there?
I've done that where I squirted the whole thing in. They're like, why are you putting that on me? I go, it's just going to make it faster. Let's do it.
But you are just like slipping, sliding everywhere. Like, what's happening?
Yeah. 6 years, Tom, since
6 years.
felt the caress of a woman?
That's right.
6 years.
6 years.
Should I say it again?
Yeah,
6
one more
years,
time.
yeah.
But really,
I'll tell you
6 years. You're a celebrity.
It might be 5 years. It doesn't matter. That's fine. I mean, I know it could probably, but I'll tell you when the last time. My ex-wife and I were trying to live in the same house, and she came into my office and she wanted to ask me to get private jet for her and her friends to fly to Vegas to see J-Lo, whatever. But what she did is she sat down at the couch in front of me and goes, I'm just thinking about Anthony Bourdain. And I know you know him, and I'm just so sad. And I was looking at her like, this is crazy. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to get up on my desk and hug her. That seems like the thing to do. And so I hug her, and she just got back for some kind of exercise thing. And so she had the yoga pant, whatever. And I start touching her, because that's what you do. And then she's like, okay, but let me shower first. I'm like, oh, no, this is the time. Mm-hmm. And I pull her pants off, we do it. And then at the end, she's like, okay, you didn't film that, did you? Because I have cameras everywhere because of her. And I'm like, no, I absolutely did not. But the camera was on my desk. As soon as she walks into my office, every time I'd have to have the camera on. And I erased it because I would never, first of all, I'd never do that to a woman, but I would never show my body. But that was the last time.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
And no love has been found since?
I'm never looking for love. I'm a full-time dad. That gives me, Let me tell you something, man. You could get married to somebody and say you're going to love it unconditionally, but that's bullshit, man. There are conditions. But when you have a child, you're like, holy shit, they love me unconditionally. I love them unconditionally. I can never complain about that. I also had 4 marriages in 20 years. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Yeah. I don't feel good enough about myself financially to be dating. Mm-hmm. People are trying to fix you up. And when you have kids, it's always complicated, If they have kids, I look at the moms. That's why my son gave me this I Love Hot Moms shirt. Because the moms at school, when I go to pick up, I look at them like it's going to have to be one of them because they have kids the same age. The kids can go play in the other room. Mm-hmm. Then you could go in a closet.
They're going to watch this and listen to this, and now they're going to know every time you do drop off. They're like, it's got to be one of them. And they're all just going to be like, is it me?
They're aware. They're aware.
Yeah, I feel the same way with T-shirts as I do with bracelets. Like, I'll see a dude wearing too many bracelets.
Not a fan. Adam's not a fan.
A guy who I used to respect was wearing a bracelet, especially the wooden bead ones. And I said, Mike, what are you wearing a bracelet for? And he went, my daughter gave this to me. And I'm like, yeah, what if she gave you a butt plug? Like,
She's probably wearing it too.
You don't have to wear it. You make a big fuss about it, and then you put it in your desk drawer, and you never look at it again.
What if they ask you?
It's too valuable to wear outside with all the crime that's going on in the streets.
They're going to take this wooden ball bracelet.
But, Dad, you're still wearing the Rolex. I know. That's not half as valuable as this ball of beads you've given me.
But you do it because it reminds you of your kid. My daughter and I get her nails painted, and the last time we did, I didn't know what gels were. And she's like, Daddy, I want you to get that one. She's 7. And I was like, okay. And it took a long time. They're painting my nails, and putting it under the microwave thing or whatever, the light. And then at the end, usually it comes off in a couple days, but it wasn't coming off. And I'd go down to the Improv to perform it. They're bright blue, sort of. And I'd say, I'm going to address this before I start performing on stage because people will notice how this is. And I'd forget until I was about halfway done. And number one, they were kind of expensive. So I thought, well, let's just keep them for a little bit. Number 2, they might be her. And then after 3 weeks, they were not coming off.
Yeah, they don't. I got
They were like perfect. So I had her take it off. I go, would you help Daddy take this off? And so that was her idea. She didn't just go to school, come home. I had them off. Like, I'm way overthinking this with her. Like, I want her to know.
I know a lot of people do a lot of, like, this is a reminder that I have kids. I don't think I could forget I had kids.
Yeah.
Or not a day goes by where I don't.
Of course.
Right.
I don't need a visual cue. But we were going to talk about this story about hiring the elderly.
Yeah,
and
good news.
That's a good story for me.
Yeah,
this is all too. Good news. All right, yeah. So it's basically the headline is just employers are becoming more open to hiring older people, and this is something I think the pandemic pushed into the forefront because people are working remotely. But now it's saying many employers are now considering age 50-plus job applicants, and I don't think they were considering them as much before. They're looking at them as more valuable. They're working harder. They find them just more valuable than some of their younger counterparts. Who I'm very passionate about this because I've worked in many, many different industries. I've had many jobs, just like you guys, because I've been an actor, comedian, so I've literally done everything.
Oh, you wanted designer jeans.
I did. I mean, Jesus, what are you going to do? You got to rake a lot of leaves. But literally, though, that was my generation. And I think it's a generational thing. I don't think people just come out of the womb like my daughter and is like, I'm not going to work. But I've worked with a lot of young people that only do what's expected of them and nothing more, not one thing more. And I think older people will go out of their way to show how valuable they are, and because they want to be good at their job.
Plus, they don't steal as much shit. Younger people are like, how do I figure out how to steal shit? Like, that's how I was every job. The McDonald's, wherever it was, I'm like, how do I make this work for me? It's complicated. It makes you smarter because you got to learn how to use a computer. You got to count the amount of Big Macs that you said were on the heater too long, and you had to throw them away.
That was my move.
Yeah.
I wasn't as nefarious as you when I worked at McDonald's, but there did come a time when there needed to be like 13 fillet of fish disposed of, and my hand went up fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, I'll be taking care of this.
Yeah.
And I went and I probably ate 3 of them by the dumpster, like as fast as I could. There was a lot of like, what's a reasonable amount of time that I can be here before people get suspicious and want to know what the fuck I'm doing?
Absolutely.
Which I based a lot of my childhood on.
Yeah.
Like hey, Mr. Branson, I need to use the bathroom. Can I have a pass during history class? Like, what is a reasonable amount of time I can stand in this bathroom before somebody starts getting suspicious? Whereas later on, working construction, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go on a plywood run down to the Ole's. What is a reasonable? If you really think about that concept of a job, like what's a reasonable amount of time I can stand outside the building doing nothing
and jerk off
before my fucking foreman starts going, what the fuck's going on? Before Ken, the manager of the McDonald's, starts going out, going. So I did, and then the rest of them I stuffed in the arm of the dumpster.
Oh yeah, I did that too.
To retrieve them
later.
Yeah.
After work.
Also on the kill floor, there's 12 guys. We're all chiseled heads, 6 across from each other, and it just becomes organic. One guy gets up, goes into the bathroom, goes into for 2/10 of an hour, whatever, 12 minutes. Then he gets back, and then the next guy goes. So there's never really 12 guys chiseling heads or boning hams or whatever, because it's a whole system, and it's how you survive getting through those days. You're like, a couple times a day, I'm going to leave for 12 minutes, go into the bathroom.
If you can beat off standing up, you can squeeze
seriously,
one off.
You do it real quick, probably in 6 minutes.
The amount, Jodi, or percentage-wise of males who have beat off on a job site,
oh God,
disgust most women. They're appalled.
I'm not shocked at all. I've seen guys jerking off in their cars. I see guys
did you really?
Oh my God, multiple times driving down to the Jersey Shore. Some dude next to me smiling is just jerking off.
Was it Louis C.K.?
It could have been.
He was at the Borgata.
Could have been. I feel like guys will do it anywhere. Girls, we will hold off.
We wish you would.
Well, we've done it. So I've done it in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When?
I mean, not recently.
Yeah,
but
that's too bad.
She was driving Uber back then.
I did it in Uber.
Super boring passenger.
I was like, please tell me about your screenplay again. And then I just fucking start jerking off.
Well, I think what we're talking about with the employees is, and I don't want to sound like Grandpa Carolla here, but there were times that were different and relationships that were different, and it's that way with gay marriage, it's that way with decriminalization of marijuana, it's that way with transgender or whatever. It's just there are times when we just went, hey, you don't do that, or it's a different time, and so you think differently. And so the relationship with work when I was younger was work.
It was work.
You didn't need to be respected. You didn't need to be fulfilled. If somebody yelled at you to do something, that's what happens when you go to work. And the part where you get to claim, I'm not going to do that work because that's not my job, that didn't.
No, you did it.
That did not exist. Like, I fired a couple of guys who worked here a million years ago because their office, which is right behind us, was a mess. And so there's another thing, too. Young people are fucking slobs.
Yeah, they're slobs.
They're
That's
slobs. True. They do not run a tight ship. And the office was like a mess, like just a holy mess. And there was a practical side to it. I was looking for some cord and I couldn't find it, but eventually was up in a pile of stuff. I said, we got to get organized. And there were 3 guys in the office. I said, let's clean the office. You got to clean the office. And the first guy said, but I share this office with 2 guys. Why am I cleaning the office? I was like,
Bye-bye.
do you want to cordon off the 4 feet that is the office is 12 feet long. There's 3 of you. Should we put a piece of tape at the 4 foot?
He would do that.
Yeah.
He'd like, that sounds fair.
Yeah, it's going to be like an 80s sitcom where we draw a line
the
and
Brady
share the
Bunch
apartment.
where they put it all the way down the room.
Right. I was like, just clean the office. None of them clean the office. I kept telling them to clean the office. They wouldn't clean the office. And then at some point, I came in on a Saturday and I cleaned the office. And then they got pissed that I cleaned the office once I shamed them that I cleaned the office, and they ended up quitting.
Jesus.
That is a new world order that did not exist. Now, you can say, is this good? Is it bad? Is it progress? Is it their job? I'll put all that aside. I'm just saying that didn't exist.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
A lot of the other stuff is progress.
Right.
But and when young people say, there's more to my life than work, I mean, that makes sense. I will say this, especially in our business. People are like, oh, no, this is my job. And a few years ago, myself and a bunch of people in Hollywood, we started this thing called Got Your Six, where we put veterans at the top of every list. And we're like, we got a bunch of awards for it, but it was very selfish because veterans, in my experience, will do whatever the fuck. If there's a wall that goes down over there, they're not going to be like, oh shit, I'm over here. They'll always jump in, and so selfishly, it's been beneficial to everybody in our business.
Right. I got a program called Asian First, where I just take all the Asians and put them at the top, and it fucking works. It kicks ass every time.
I'm going to write that
down. I'm not as celebrated.
Well, here's the thing. They're saying the collapse in fertility rates and the increasing life expectancy has something to do with it as well. I mean, people used to retire at between 60 and 65, just like we're retired, and nobody wants to do that anymore.
Well, hang around long enough, and you see in no particular order the Tom Arnolds, the Dr. Drews, the Mark Garrigas's. These guys are all in their later 60s, kicking ass. The only thing, and by the way, all they are is basically a 30-year-old version of themselves with another 35 years experience in their head. There's no goddamn reason at all why you wouldn't want these people
you want
working
those
for
people.
you.
I think the only as I was reading through this and thinking about it, because again, I've worked with a lot of people that I'll ask them to do something. Oh, that's not what I do. That's not my job, or that's what I don't get paid for that, or you want me to stay an hour late? I like all of that stuff. I think the only problem with someone like myself or people like me is that I had a harder time as I climbed up the ladder in the job that I'm at, delegating stuff, because I'll do it all. I'll do the cleaning, and then I'll come back here, I'll reorganize, I'll do some filing. And you get to a point where someone's like, you don't have to do that. You can delegate that to other people. But because my mindset is, I'll just do it. I'm not going to ask somebody to do it. I'm just going to do it. You know what I mean?
The biggest, probably ongoing situation that we've ever had in this place of work for coming on 15 years is rinsing coffee mugs. People cannot rinse their coffee mug. And I realize it's just a gene. I think some people don't have it, but the coffee mugs that aren't rinsed, the coffee dries up at the bottom, and then you do that one finger scrape because you can't get a full fist in there. And it's like, and so there's 2 parts. I would say, just rinse it. Just put it in the sink when you're done and just give it a splash of water. Nobody did it for probably about 8 years. Plenty of discussions and meltdowns and pleas and arguments. So no one did it. But then at some point, the cup would find itself to the sink, be under the spigot, but not get the splash.
Oh.
And they'd leave for the weekend. And then at some point, I'd come in and I'd go, hey, there's a coffee mug. It's just sitting in the sink. It's got a 1/4 inch of coffee in the bottom of it. Give it a rinse. And then the answer would be, that's not my coffee mug. And I'd be like, yes, but you went to the sink 26 times. You've been here for 2 hours. Why not give it a shot of water? Like, not my whatever. Which to me is a worse answer.
Yes.
Like the thing about excuses with a lot of young people is to them it's an excuse. To me, it's an indictment.
Speaking of coffee mugs, yesterday I reached for one. I'm trying to eliminate. I need the storage space, and it's Dr. Drew's 60th birthday with his face on it. That's a weird coincidence. I thought, can I get rid of this? I was like, no, I'm gonna.
Did you keep it? You kept it?
I like thinking about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, why not? hire. It's essentially. It's not like you are hiring an old person. You're hiring a person from a different time when work meant something different.
The 50's not that old.
Which is what you would want in the present day.
My dad worked until 4 days before he died. He worked for 45 years. He was an industrial engineer at a plant. Great job. And then the next day he went to work at the hospital with his buddies for $10 an hour delivering body parts and fluids and shit. And he went here, he did this. You know, and my other grandpa worked, he was blind, he would drive for work, and we'd see him on the streets of a small town. But that's what they did.
He killed a few people.
He was a moil. He was the only blind moil.
The only blind movie is really good. Here's
Iowa.
the thing, though.
I would never use a moil. He's a doctor.
Yeah.
You hear the stories about people retiring and dying like a month later.
No, you do hear
And then you hear
those.
people that like worked until they're like 90. I feel like we need to have that. It keeps us young. It keeps us sharp. It gives us purpose. That's the greatest thing I think about. A lot of people don't want to retire. I don't want to retire. I don't.
Jane Fonda is smoking hot. She's 85. And people are like, would you? I go, yeah, I would. Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's get her
well,
on the
of course, I'm
horn.
almost 65. Oh, no, I've talked to her before. Not about that.
Does she know that it's been 6 years?
No, but I heard she hasn't had sex in a bunch of years, too. And I thought, well, we got something to talk
put it
about,
together.
man.
I don't know how long you'd laugh with Jane Fonda.
Who cares? That's fine.
And the
She's
6-year
thin.
layoff.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not about lasting long. It's just about doing. Sometimes, and I recommend this to people to get married, you have to have sex. You're the only people you get to have sex with in the world. That's part of it. And if you go too long, you know, like every Wednesday is a good thing. But if you go over a month, you start having resentments. You start getting jealous. Like, what's he doing at work that he doesn't need me? And you're like, fuck her. She won't have sex. And nobody wants to do it. And you just get farther away. I say, once a month, you have to go into a closet and just fucking do it. Not you don't have to be romantic. Some kind of human contact. Get it
Mop,
over.
entry hall,
Break the
pantry.
slump.
We live in
You
like a
gotta be
6-bedroom
specific.
house. We're going in the closet.
Yeah, well, whatever it takes, break the slump. You can't blame your kids for it. If you're in the closet, you're like, yeah, we're doing it.
So,
you know.
Tom, if you knew you were going to bed Jane Fonda Saturday,
This Saturday.
would you watch Barbarella before Saturday?
Wait,
Yeah.
what decade of Jane would you think about? Would
I
it be
work
that?
out a lot between now and then, too.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
Jade, well, Barbarella's amazing.
Barbarella's great.
But she's
remember,
been amazing
she's
for...
been aerobics queen.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
yeah.
there's that. There's on Golden Pond when
and
she
she
comes
likes
out
an
of the water.
interesting
She's all
array
hot.
of men. You know, she casts a wide net like I do with women.
I feel like we've got like a future match happening
yeah.
here.
Yeah, well, I love her. I'm just going to put it out there.
I'd watch Barbarella.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, prime the pump.
Get it
You know what I
ready.
mean? Like
That
Get
primes
it
the
ready.
pump no matter
if
what.
I was having a little
Super hot.
difficulty in real time,
Okay, so that
I would be able to
Oh my
close
God,
my
look
eyes
at
and
that.
harken back to
looks
Barbarella.
Looks like me.
Yes, with the red
wait,
hair.
So that's hot. But let's pull up a Fonda in the 80s when she was working out in those like leggings and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that also was hot and
Yeah.
she's all sweaty in the Netherlands, you know what I mean? Those nether regions.
Yes, Netherlands is a place.
Plus, she's so talented. Talent
Well,
is hot.
I call it the Netherlands.
Yeah, but I feel you, Jodi, but I'm still
You're
sticking
still
with
here,
Barbarella.
but then you're sticking with that, and then you see her now, and that's a huge difference.
I got to say
right,
something.
and what
That-
I'm saying is
It's okay.
if I close my eyes,
Oh,
I will
yeah,
then
absolutely.
see Barbarella.
Like,
They're
look
not-
at
oh my
that.
God, that's amazing. That's like, hey, Tom, come on over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I won't be
not-
able to
I
do
mean-
that, but I will come over. You know, there's this commercials that this woman has. It makes me crazy because she reminds me of every woman from Iowa. It's for Luby, and she's like, so here, your armpit smell, your private part smell, your butt smells. You don't even have to shower. This stuff is some kind of women deodorant.
Luby?
Lumi.
Oh, Lumi.
L-U-M-E. Check that out.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, look at this. I got sticky parts. Your under your belly, that's sticky. This is proven to make you better smelling that you don't even have to shower anymore. Like it's like she's so overt. And of course, that's her right, but it's a lot.
yeah, commercials.
Have you not seen those?
I have
Oh,
not
yes,
seen
I
him.
have.
I haven't. I
I've
haven't
seen
him.
everything. I've
That's
seen
what it is?
every commercial.
Put that in your
Can you
butt.
play it?
And I will say this about commercials with the
Natural
ladies.
deodorant.
Yes.
I like a little more mystery and a little less history. You know, back in the day, there was the mom and the daughter walking on the beach. You ever have that not so fresh feeling?
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know what it was about.
Right.
And I was happy.
You're fine.
Now they're getting way too much into, when you take a major dump and you don't want to destroy the bathroom and your pussy smells, you gotta rub the scream. I don't like to think of women that way. I don't like to picture them sweating or shitting or farting or getting their periods. I just think of them as Barbarella.
Yeah. I don't want to think of men shitty either. I don't mind a little steak in the, like you want a flavor if you have a vagina. You want it to smell like vagina.
Yeah.
And I think they're getting their vaginas all perfect for other women to go, hey, my vagina doesn't smell.
Oh, maybe for other ways.
Because men like it.
All right, well, let's see the commercial.
Yeah, I want to see this commercial.
There's one.
And apply it like a lotion to your private. Kiss your stinky butt goodbye.
Goodbye.
No
Stinky
one likes
butt.
odor below the belt. Whether you're at the gym getting free samples of butt incense, at the office inhaling your own front fumes, or in bed doing some stinky wanky. No, not the Teletubby. Your privates go everywhere you go. So why isn't there deodorant for privates? Now there is with Lumi, the only natural deodorant you can safely use on your private parts. Lumi's clinically proven to eliminate odor all day. And if you're using your privates all day, good for you. Lumi's been proven to control odor for 72 hours. Lumi works by stopping odor at the source.
This guy's,
bacteria.
look at that.
Most crotch
look at that
infections
guy.
What position
come
is he
from
doing?
bacteria
He's
on
trying
the
to
skin,
fart.
breaking down fluids and farting out odor.
I love they
Lumi
just
stops
slipped
them
in
from eating so
semen.
they can't fart. Now they're polite germs.
Hello, Governor. Hello, Governor. Oh, I never.
I love that we have a animated gremlin for everything. Toe fungus,
Yes.
lung mucus, and now you're snatched.
I love this actress. This actress got cast as the Stinky Snatch.
Yeah, she did. I wish I had that job. I'd do that job.
Anyway, hey, those are mine. You have enough douchebags in your
Do
life.
people still use douchebags?
No.
Okay,
For
that's
the
weird.
most sensitive parts of the body, like the
Wow.
ones men can't find.
This is a
Just take
whole
pea-sized amount and
tutorial.
apply
Yeah.
This
It really
isn't even
is.
a commercial.
The woman that invented it does them too. She's a gynecologist, baby. She's very excited about it.
Click the link below to try Lumi today.
But this woman did audition for this. That's cool.
No,
I'd do
but
that.
I like the other woman who had to air out her vagina. She got cast. She's like, "What part am I playing?" They're like, "Your crotch stinks."
But that'd be a good part.
All right, Jody,
Could you just lift your dress up?
You'll go out on auditions.
Yeah.
All right. I've always said there was the worst acting commercial job there is not the herpes chick.
Oh, okay.
She's broken down the fourth wall.
She's
pushing a mountain bike on a trail.
Yeah, always.
She's talking about herpes. It's the dude 2 steps behind her
Oh, because
pushing the
he
bike.
didn't even know she had it until this commercial.
He didn't give it to her.
Oh, he did it.
Oh, he did it?
That's the last dude.
Oh God.
She
Poor
lived
guy.
next door to Shaq.
Yeah, so she'll get it from.
She got it from the last dude, and he just has to look, somewhere between concerned but not judgmental.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But he knows she's got it?
Well,
He
she's
does
talking.
now.
She does now.
Does
She's
now.
Oh, he
talking
can
to
hear
the
her.
camera. Yeah,
Okay.
she's there.
She's like, yeah.
But my point is Lumi, smelly crotch chick, or person who
I don't-
stands next to the person with the herpes? It's not the herpes person.
It's the guy who stands next to it. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. When you got stinky private parts, that's on you. You didn't wash your shit. You know what I mean? So you're basically like, I'm too tired and too busy to wash my vagina. So let me just put this cream on it instead of showering. You know what I mean? So like, I blame her.
Yeah. They've worked it out. Her and that guy, they know what the score is. He'd wear a condom or whatever it takes.
Right.
He cares for about
Or
30
they just
seconds.
you go, like, this is so good, I'm just going to get it from you, that we both got it, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
right.
I don't know if this is true, but when people had AIDS and had sex with another person with AIDS, they got like super AIDS. I don't even know if that's true. It seems like it would cure both of them. I mean, it could go either way.
Yeah. So we say Lumi, smelly crotch person.
Don't you think
worst
so?
gig.
If your crotch is smelly, or if you got herpes from someone else and you didn't do anything wrong, you just picked the wrong person.
Well, she keeps talking about
Yeah,
how
you're
smelly
right.
other
She
people's
keeps
crotches are too.
talking
Like
about-
it's not like because I remember those commercials that the mom and the daughter on the beach talking about
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Subtle. This mentions it like 80 times. I think that's the hook on this thing. It's
Yeah.
all about stinky
Well,
crotch.
and stinky butt.
Yeah.
You're not even washing your butt. Your butt
No.
stinks.
You gotta wash your butt.
I'll give you a window into my world. I just did it this morning. I'll just dump a little shot of talcum down the shorts before I leave
that's
the
fine.
house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
little cornstarch. It'll mop up whatever.
You get
whatever
vagina
goes on
cancer
down
for
there.
that. There's a whole thing commercial about a guy like, did you get vagina cancer from talc?
Vagina
We're
cancer?
suing Johnson & Johnson.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's a whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
So you might get it in your butthole.
Yeah.
You can get vagina cancer from using baby powder?
Oh, yeah.
That's what they say.
You don't
These
watch
lawyers-
enough daytime TV. There's a class action lawsuit.
Yeah, huge.
Did
With that
you
and
live around
your
Fort?
bladder sling.
No, if you lived around Fort Lejeune.
So, can you believe how many fucking commercials? I mean, if they shut that place down, they should shut that place down. It seems so dangerous. I don't even know, but everybody that's lived around Camp Lejeune
Yeah.
It's fucked.
With the one you could sue.
The water was poisoned.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or you could poison your vagina with the talcum.
With the talcum powder.
Or there was a pubic mesh that
The
exploded.
pubic,
yes.
the mesh.
And I got to ask you a serious question, Jodi. Have you worked in the shipbuilding industry because of mesothelioma?
I haven't, but
That was a
that was a big one.
I'm
I
such
knew
a
that
sad sack. I would watch daytime TV and go, God damn it! I wish I lived around
I wish
Fort
I had-
Lejeune. I could
no
get
shit.
in on some of this shit.
No, my
the
age-
vaginal mesh, though, I was aware of those commercials
Yeah,
because
those
those are
guys.
nighttime ones too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
My agent will call, go, do you have AFib? I'll go, how much do they pay? I will have it. Like anything, I'll go, I'll figure it out.
Well, now if you've worked around Roundup, the weed killer.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's
I
bad.
heard about
That's
that.
just bad. I can
That's
tell you
another
from
one.
I heard about
being on
that.
a farm, that's just bad.
There's somebody out there that's hit the trifecta or the triple crown or, gotten 5 cherries on the lawsuit
Slot machine.
machine of life. There's some motherfucker who
That's
worked at Fort Lejeune,
Yeah.
whose job it was to kill weeds with Roundup, who also, before he was with the military, was with the Navy working in shipbuilding.
And put
so he's got
so
the
much talc
mesothelioma.
powder up
His wife has the
Vaginal
pubic mesh
yes.
and she talked
Vaginal-
up
right.
because of her insecurities, and together they're worth $200 billion
Right.
now. They're not going to live
No, they're
to see
dead.
the end of the
but
year.
yes, but their kids are going to do well.
Oh man!
Well, remember when we were younger, the Larry H. Parker commercials about he did the
Younger,
injury guy?
he's still around.
I know, but there was one guy, a black guy. They just showed his head. Larry
Yeah.
H. Parker got me $3 billion. You're like, where's the rest of your body?
body.
Yeah.
They didn't show it.
Yes. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and do some news right after this. Let me tell you about Babbel. Upcoming summer trip abroad. Communication. Well, that's the key to experiencing a new culture. You don't just go there, speak English, and sit in the McDonald's. No, use Babbel. It's a language learning app that sold over 10 million subscriptions. Addictively fun, easy way to learn a new language. Babbel teaches bite-sized 10-minute lessons. You can start having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Choose from 14 different languages. Dr. Drew and his wife used this before his wife's French was horrible, he said. Then they used Babbel. Then they went to France, and she spoke like a Parisian. Created by over 150 language experts, not AI, voiced by real native speakers, plus speech recognition technology helps you improve pronunciation and accent. And they got a 20-day money-back guarantee. It's Babbel, right, Dawson?
Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, save up to 55% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/Adam. That's babbel.com/Adam for up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life.
Blinds Galore, they're having their huge Memorial Day sale, and it starts next week. Everything up to 50% off. Get your free samples today so you'll be ready when the sale starts Tuesday, May 23rd, celebrating 25 years of business, and it's the first place you go to get the custom blinds or shades online. High quality, custom-built blinds, shutters, shades, even motorized and Bluetooth-controlled window coverings that connect your smartphone or to your smart home, or they just have a little remote, too. You charge them up, last 6 months, up and down, no problem, like a computer. Put the little charge cord in there. I have it at home. I have it in the office. I have it at work. Just take the measurements, customize it online, and their team will walk you through every step of the way, online or over the phone. It's blindsgalore.com, right, Dawson?
Order your free samples today so you'll be ready when their Memorial Day sale starts next week, and everything will be up to 50% off. Visit blindsgalore.com and let them know Adam sent you. That's blindsgalore.com.
Fast-growing trees. You want some shade? You want some fruit? You want to breathe some life into your backyard this spring? Go with fastgrowingtrees.com. Their experts curate thousands of plants, so you'll find the perfect fit for your unique climate wherever you are. You get the right plants for your climate, and thus they flourish. Their plant experts are always available to help keep your plants healthy throughout the season. No long lines or hauling heavy plants around. Order online, and your plants are shipped to your door in just a few days. I got these guys to bring me over a few plants, fast-growing trees. It's at my place in Malibu, and it is flourishing and beautiful, and it really adds a lot. Changes your mood a little and cleans the air. Also, they have a 30-day Alive and Thrive guarantee, so you know everything's going to look fresh right out of the box. It's fast-growing trees, right, Dawson?
Join over 1.5 million happy Fast Growing Trees customers. Go to fastgrowingtrees.com/Adam now to get 15% off your entire order. Get 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com/Adam. In celebration of Jim Carolla's upcoming 92nd birthday, here's a list of 92 things Jim Carolla has never done. Number 62. Seen the movie Cannonball Run. Just one of 92 things Jim Carolla has never done. Let's get back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Nice callback to the genius who shares Tom Arnold's birthday.
And your dad's, that's your dad
that is
92?
Yeah, I think he's going to turn a 92. Hal Needham.
I love Hal Needham, man.
I love Hal Needham,
And how's
too.
your dad never seen? If you're a good son, you go over there and watch Cannonball Run with him.
Yeah, you're right. I failed him.
You did.
Maybe that's why you
that.
love Hal Needham and all those movies so much, and cars and boxing and all that shit.
Yeah, it probably
It
is, because
is,
my
yeah.
dad's home reading right now and not celebrating Hal Needham. By the way, Tom's got a series coming. I was going to do an appearance on a series, Fubar, which is May 25th on Netflix with his old buddy Arnold Schwarzenegger, new spy series, and Tom guest stars on that. So it's going to be good. And nice to have you guys reunited.
Yeah, it's fun.
That is nice.
That way. Jodi has got live dates. Tom's got live dates, too. Tom's coming up at the Comedy Chateau this Friday in North Hollywood. Irvine Improv, May 28th. And then Hollywood, California, the Bourbon Room. That's great. North Hollywood again. Should we go to tomarnold.com or Tom Arnold, wherever?
I don't know. I like just hearing it from you. I'm not sure my thing works.
JodiMillerComedy.com is where you would go.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Santa Barbara this weekend. So.
To
Nice.
find, what a beautiful place
I
to do
know.
stand-up. All right, and me and Brad Williams are going to be doing...
Oh, I love Brad. He's funny.
Funny as shit.
Funny.
We're doing a live show June 4th, and tickets are limited, but act fast. And we're going to tape it, and we're going to do it live. So you can go to live1.com/Carolla Live, and you can watch it from your home or your computer, wherever you are.
Nice.
All right, what do we got in the news, Skinny Jodi Miller?
So ABC 7 New York anchor Ken Rosado, how I pronounce his name, was fired for, I love this, hot mic insult. I just love it. It's a mic that's on, obviously, for the people that are listening. They're like, what's a hot mic? It's not just a mic that's attractive.
Right.
It's live.
It's a live
It's a
mic.
live mic. And he used to be a priest, which is why this is so shocking. So, okay. So ABC News 7 anchor in New York City was fired after a hot mic allegedly caught him insulting his co-host. Apparently, Ken, there we go.
Oh, she's cute.
She is cute. Charlene Alcott. He called her a C triple asterisk. I'm going to assume he called her a cunt.
Yes, he did.
Which, by the way, I am not. Side note, that word does not offend me. I just think you word only has power if you give it power.
Well,
people are
when
so
two women
offended.
call each other the C word, it's good. It's sexy. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I actually, it's not a word that I'm like, okay, maybe she is being a cunt. I don't know her, so.
But he can't say it. He's a dude. It's like the N-word.
No.
You cannot fucking
Right,
say
you
it.
can't say that.
You know,
If he's British, he can.
Yes, you can
If
say
he's
it.
not
Tucker
British.
Right,
Carlson,
you're right.
that's what got him fired. He did all this
Right.
shit. People were like, oh, he's outrageous. But then when he called his boss the C word, that was it.
Right. So anyway,
Oh, that's what got him fired?
Yeah, and he also said, I
said
want
that
her
for
to
real?
know I'm called. Like, he
Oh,
did
well.
it. He went above and beyond. It wasn't just like to his buddies. He's like, I want her to hear that I did that, which tells me he wanted to get fired.
Didn't they just, well, this is a little insider baseball, but I talked to Tucker yesterday,
Oh,
you did?
and he told me why he was fired.
Oh, good.
And then the news broke today. I just want to make sure the news is out there before.
It's a
before I
Dominion
out it.
thing real that they
Before we
said,
go?
you got to fire Tucker Carlson because that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy that they had that power. And Fox should have been like, well, we'll just go to court. But how did they, Murdoch, I'm going to tell you something about the Murdochs. I worked for them for a long time. I used to the last time I saw all three Murdochs, the dad, two sons, at 2018 at the Fox commissary, and Trump was going off on something. I go, hey, when's your dad? I said to Lachlan, when's your dad going to do something about that? Like, he goes, I'm going to tell you something. I said, is your dad even in charge? He goes, my dad's in charge. And when he makes a move, it will be fast on anybody and instant, and you will know it. And so I assume that's what happened with Tucker Carlson. The old man's like, fuck that, I don't want to testify.
Well, this is out today where they said it was part of the
I saw that
settlement,
too. I
right?
saw that too.
And in a world where you can't believe anything, believe this one.
It is?
That's exactly what was told to me.
Wow.
Yes. Which is interesting, but it kind of makes sense because everyone was like, he was number one in his
Yeah,
time
it was
slot.
very
Why
strange.
Well, Roger
would you-
Ailes
would
was
you
number
do
one
that?
too. Bill O'Reilly. Fox has a system, man. They'll do this, they'll do this, they'll do, and then they're like, it's over. Why wouldn't they fire Maria Bartichova or whatever her name?
Bartoloma or something?
Who constantly?
Yes. he
Tucker
didn't-
was not the worst offender on the Dominion shit.
No, I think Dominion was just like, there's, when you sue somebody, there's two reasons you sue them. One is to get money. The other is to hurt them as much as possible. And sometimes one can take precedent over the other. You go, I'd rather fuck that person's world up more
Right,
than
than
even
get money.
take their money. Or if I can do both,
Even better.
that's a win-win. So they're like, we need a bunch of money and we'd like to fuck their world up. And firing the low-rated weekend anchor does not fuck their world up. And
Yeah.
I think that's why they
Have you ever heard of a settlement like that where they had that kind of power to say, I want $800 million, and by the way, here's a personnel decision that I want you to make? I mean, that seems like they.
No, but like, in lawsuits, like sort of everything is on the table.
Yeah.
Right.
You can go, there's a lot of like, here's what I want, and you can never talk about this in public like ever again. There's always and you can't,
Right.
or and I also need,
Right.
or it's like, we're getting divorced, I want the money, and I want the horse. You know what I mean? Like, there's always and I
There's
want
always
the,
something, that one thing that you know is going to really just.
Right. So it's like a big pile of asks,
I get
and
that.
they did not want to go down that road further into litigation. And also, Roger Ailes was going to have to come up and testify at age 93. And he's, to quote Danny Glover, he's getting too old for this shit. I think. And so they said, fine.
But they have to pay Tucker a lot of money. They still on his contract. It's not
He
like
has a lot. He doesn't even need that money.
No, he
so
doesn't.
much money.
But I like when other people explain that other people don't need that kind of money.
I know.
I know. Everyone feels like they
But
need their money.
isn't he
though.
from the Swanson family, right? What family is he from?
No, he's his
Hungry
dad
man.
invented the TV dinner.
Yes,
that's not
he
even.
is the Swanson from the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I
You
wish
didn't
that
know?
was
Yes.
my dad.
I know that because I work on a trivia show.
I'd be swimming in Salisbury steak
Seriously,
right now.
Yeah.
Look, first off, his life is that of a monk in terms of how he lives his life.
Oh, really?
His kids live in the main house. He explained this to me on the podcast a few years ago. He lives in the guest house with his wife and his dog, and he literally doesn't buy jewelry or go on expensive vacations or whatever. I mean, he lives very, I don't want to say like a monk, but I mean, for a guy who makes millions of dollars,
Just
he
very
lives sort of
simply, yes.
upper middle class.
Well, how old are
or
his
something.
kids that
Yeah, how
live
old
in a
are his
house
kids?
by themselves?
Exactly.
There's 3 and 4.
No, they're adults.
Okay, that's
okay,
cool.
it's all right.
Yeah, so there you go.
So that tells you right there that kids should be in the guest house. Like, you're a big proponent of kids got to tow their own weight. Here's fucking Tucker Carlson's kids living off the fucking land over there. He has to sleep in the guest house.
I know.
They're
But
so
he's choosing
spoiled.
to sleep in the guest house.
Yeah.
With his TV dinners.
Yeah, they should be lucky. They should be in a tent in the backyard.
What is this? What is it? Swanson?
Is it Swanson?
Yeah.
We'll look it up.
Yeah,
What
it is
America
Swanson.
is
It
coming
is.
to.
His
It is
dad
Swanson.
invented that?
No, but
No,
it's-
his dad
but
was
it's-
the CEO of that company.
of that company. Yes.
Yeah, the people that try to tell me on TV, whoever they are, about masculinity, whether it be Josh Hawley or one of these other fucking, we're losing masculinity. It's a weird thing to talk about.
Masculinity.
To hear it from a guy like Josh Hawley or anybody. Like, I'm teaching people how to be masculine.
Mm-hmm.
You either, if you're masculine, you don't talk, you don't like, I'm going to write a book about how to do this.
You
just are, you are, yeah.
Sorry, what story were we on?
Where Tucker Carlson,
talking
your
about
friend,
cunts. The word-
Stepmother's the my screen
That's
here.
cool.
Tucker's middle name is Swanson.
Is that true? Are you shitting
Thankfully,
me?
it's not mashed
That's what the
potatoes.
screen says.
Oh my God, fuck that
Tucker
guy.
Salisbury steak.
I like the double, the extra meat, handyman, hungry man, Swanson dinners.
The pecking order for frozen dinners that I grew up on,
Was.
I think number one is either fried chicken or the turkey kind of Thanksgiving
Yeah, I like
themed
that.
Yeah,
one.
those two are the best.
And a
Still
little
like it.
cobbler square.
I don't like the cobbler. The
like the
cobbler's
cobbler.
gross. It's always a weird blackberry-ish cobbler. I like the brownie.
Yeah, it's got some crust though. You got to eat it.
But also the cobbler would be adulterated by a couple of peas and carrot cubes, which found its way onto the cobbler
And the mashed
somewhere
potatoes.
in the process.
Did you notice around the perimeter of the mashed potatoes was always crusty and
Oh,
hard?
I love that crust.
You just,
That's basically what's left on the stick after a corn dog. That's the most precious.
it's the best part.
When my ship arrived,
corn
I'm going to
dog.
have servants make me casseroles out of just what was on the stick. From the corn, we're going to
I
fry
love
corn dogs.
corn
We're going to pull
dogs.
them off. We're going to throw them away. We're going to get they're going to scrape what's on the stick, and we're going to tell them to buy the Swanson's dinner
Yes.
and just give me the crusty part
Nice.
of
You just
want the
the
crust
mashed
around it.
potatoes.
That's
That's
fair.
right.
And you could was having TV dinners normal in your childhood, or was it a special occasion like in my childhood?
My mom, I hope you guys are sitting down, didn't cook.
Yeah.
So it was TV dinner or was
Nice.
sort of nothing. So we ended up doing a lot of TV dinners. Do not sleep on the Mexican TV dinner with the enchilada
Ew, no.
and the refried beans
do
and
it.
rice. Don't sleep on it.
I'm sleeping on it. I don't like it.
Your eyelids are getting heavy, Jody. What?
I'm not an enchilada girl.
Oh, it's off.
No, I don't.
You get none of my sperm.
I've already got it. I've
you
already
don't
got
like
it.
enchiladas?
I don't. It's not my jam anymore. And I definitely didn't like them when I was younger. I grew up in Jersey. If it wasn't meatballs and spaghetti.
Okay.
I don't like hot stuff. My tongue, I burned it. I had a show business injury. I burned it in doing Hot Ones, a show on the internet where you eat hot sauce 1 through 10 on the chicken things. And I was like, I'm going to finish this no matter what. I'm from Iowa. I've eaten a lot of hot stuff. I was doing good. The guy's interviewing you. And I got to number 7. I'm like, oh, shit, something's going on. It's crazy hot. And right after the show, they're like, hey, great job. Can we take your mic off? I go, this makes no sense, but I'm so fucking mad at you right now. Stay the fuck away from me. My tongue, I just have to, give me 45 minutes. It took 45 minutes, and my tongue has never been, like ketchup
you
is
fucked it
spicy
up.
now.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was a bad thing with my tongue.
All right. Sorry, Joe.
Back to cunt.
Oh, yeah. Do you have a
Charlene.
tape of him?
I don't. Do they have a tape?
Was
That'd
it-
be great.
But I'm guessing he was fucking
Listen,
around.
no, I don't
right?
think he
Oh,
wasn't
meant
because
it.
they're also saying so. Apparently, it was off the air when the insult was made. They picked it up on the open mic, like the mic that was live, and he was immediately let go, like immediately. And they're also saying there's speculation that he used a racial slur, but his agent denies that, of course. But here's the thing. He once lived to serve God, as they said. He was a priest. in 2000 at least.
Is that him?
I think.
I feel like we've lowered the bar for the priest expectations over the last several years
So
in this
let me just
country,
ask
and no
you a
longer
question
he
now.
was
Yeah.
a man of the cloth.
Yeah,
But
no, that's
also-
like
I think molestation when I hear
let's keep
priest
that on
now.
the
But
down
also,
low.
that, let me ask you, like, are you a priest and you're like, I really want to be a news anchor? That is such a jump.
I'll tell you the problem inherent with news anchor.
Please.
You learn to despise the person who sits next to you. It's baked in.
I watch
It's,
the morning
it's
show. I know.
woven in.
I know.
It has to be, especially two women. They have to hate each other if one's a little younger, a little skinnier. But you will learn to hate the person next to you. Now, that happens in all forms of employment. Every time I work construction, there were three assholes on the job site. When you worked at the Hormel factory, you hated some of those guys. When you get into making productions and films and stuff like that, there's an executive producer guy. You fucking can't stand that guy, which is fine. It's how work goes. It could go no other way. But in those situations, you don't have to pretend like you like them.
Right.
You just don't like them.
Don't like them.
And you don't need to do the fake laugh or you are silly or whatever. You know, this is a situation where you hate the person next to you like everyone does at work.
Yep.
And you have to then shower them with praise and laugh heartily at their bad jokes. And it's too much.
Yeah.
It becomes too much. And then they snap.
Well, here's how you
That's
get
the
over
problem.
it. You get a common enemy. What do you have? You're
Yeah.
a co-actor, like the weatherman.
Yes.
The fucking weatherman. I mean, he's so
Or
fucking
the general
humiliating.
manager, somebody else that you hate and you can get on together. My thing is like, how stupid are you? You are still wired. You are sitting at your desk. It is a break, and you say something. You hold off until you're in your dressing room or you're
By now.
by now, after everything we've
But
seen.
can I? All right. But let me just tell you about humanity.
Do you think he wanted? You think
thought-
he wanted to get caught?
No, I thought once someone invented a Ring doorbell, there would be no more people stealing shit on porches. And I thought once 7-Eleven put a surveillance camera in, there would be no more robbing.
Right.
7-Eleven, because we have film of you. And
Or once the cops had wear the things, they would
The body
stop
cams,
shooting.
the body
people.
cams.
well, once. It has not slowed people down at all. We've actually sped up a little bit. So this notion of like, come on, it's a mic, it's a hot mic, like you should know, has not thwarted anybody's ability to do this. And we've all, and Tom, you've been here, loved up on set, prolonged periods of time.
Yeah.
Got to use the head. Take a phone call, talk
Yes.
shit. You know
Yes.
what I mean? I did the Man Show once. We had this fucking horrible. We had a bad director for a shoot I did. She was a nice enough lady. She just didn't know what the fuck she was doing, and I found myself like loved up, like saying to the writer, like, "Hey, let me talk to you for a second." You know, and it's like she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. She's gonna fucking ruin.
Did she hear this?
shit.
She heard this?
Not in real time.
Oh.
A few weeks later, she left the edit bay
Oh,
and said
shit.
had to download all the dailies and put everything in. And thanks for the kind words. I was
that's fine.
Did you feel
'cause
like a dick?
I did. But I stood by it.
Yeah, fair.
She was bad at her job, but she had to then listen to me saying all these things off camera.
I mean, here's the thing. I
By
guess,
the way, the C word doesn't just roll off a guy's tongue.
No, he had to be. That's a
Yeah.
word out of anger for
No,
sure.
you said it a bunch if you say it once.
I like it when people know they're loved up and do the tap thing.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's like this, but producer.
I just do this.
Shelley.
I literally
Ann
cover
is
it.
a
Does that work?
Yeah, you
I
can't
don't
hear
know.
anything like that.
Like when you're taking a
But
dump.
also,
I bet they could dig that shit out if
They
they wanted to
probably
find
could.
some
They can.
stuff on you, Jody.
They can.
Probably could.
So
Also,
don't jerk
you-
off with it on,
you
even
look-
standing up.
Jerk off standing
you
up.
look guilty smacking it while
Yeah.
you're talking to somebody because everyone thinks you're talking shit about them.
Yes.
Right.
You just No, I would just do that. Although, I would wait until I know everything is off of me before I insult somebody.
I do now, but man, in 1999,
Well, that's a different time. This is literally 2023.
I don't see you
sitting
guys
next door.
insulting that many people.
I don't really.
I didn't say, but the amount of intimacy with audio guys, it's unsettling.
It really
yeah.
I'm going to tell you, and it hasn't
They hear
changed in the
everything.
35, 40 years I've been doing this. It's the same. You think they have a mic that didn't require them to go up your shirt.
No,
And loosen up your belt belt so they can put it on your ankle.
Yeah.
And they're like right on you, too.
No, that's why I use the Lumi.
The Lumi, got to clean it up, freshen it up. Don't worry, I use the Lumi down there. I have this one mic guy that keeps, I haven't worked with him in a while, but for another show that I do, every time he works on the show, it's so like jarring. He just lifts my skirt up. He's like, gotta get it. And I have pantyhose on, but I'm like, oh my God. It's so, there's no warning. He's just like, my skirt's up and he's just shoving something down my butt. And I'm like, stop it.
And if you go into the trailer and take like an emergency shit, like one of those like, fuck.
Gotta get it out.
I came out, and this happened on the Fox Sports Show, and the sound man's like, don't worry, your mic was off. I go, why are you even saying that unless you just fucking heard...
Your mic. Well, you need Lumi. I think this show should be sponsored by Lumi.
Oh, that'd be good.
If it was sitting right here, I'm curious to know how fresh it really makes everything smell.
Well, we'll get some.
I blame us in like Madison Avenue. Well, in that we can sell a cream to anybody. There is Fruit Wash. That's $8.
Yes.
It's a spray bottle with pictures of clean fruit
on it.
You
can use baking soda, by the way.
Or you can just use whatever's coming out of the tap. Or you can use your sweater.
Anything.
Yeah, but there's like Fruit Wash. There's Lumi for the ass.
There's ass wash.
It all comes down to my theorem of they sell volleyball shoes. I've spent $800 on my daughter's various volleyball shoes, which are played. The games are played on a basketball court in a high school. Why is there such a thing as women's volleyball shoes?
What's the difference between a volleyball shoe and a sneaker?
They have to make them look a little bit different, but LeBron James gets up and down just fine.
But he doesn't stop. Like they have to. Volleyball is a sport of
LeBron
kings.
does some movement,
but it's got to be lighted up. It's got to be He'll
occasionally jump. You watch the NBA.
They have pickleball shoes.
That's what I'm saying. They invent something for everything, and then we buy the specific thing when it shouldn't exist in the first place, because you're right. There's no such thing. Why do you need tennis shoes and pickleball shoes?
You don't. Pickleball's just a smaller tennis court.
You got a helmet for riding horses and a helmet for riding skateboards. You don't think the same helmet would do?
It would do.
How many people ride skateboards and horses?
No, definitely not the
only
same
Shatner. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll do some more news right after this. Hey, it's Adam Carolla. Is your vehicle no longer stopping like it used to? Or does it squeal, shake, or grind when you brake? Don't miss spring brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts now through April 25th. You can get 15% off when you buy a set of Brake Best Select or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors. Brake Best Select and Import Direct brake pads are engineered for all driving conditions to restore and improve braking performance. With application-specific friction formulas, noise-canceling shims, and low-dust operation. Trust Brake Best and Import Direct to deliver better braking. Don't take a chance on your next brake repair. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will help you find the brake parts and supplies you need to do the job right the first time. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit online, O'ReillyAuto.com. Let me tell you about Angie. Angie's List is now Angie, and they've made it easier than ever to get all your home projects done right. I use Angie. Yep, what? You, Adam, you can do most everything Angie can do. True, but I'm busy, and I travel, and I have a schedule. So I'll let Angie do a lot of the stuff I don't have time to do or it doesn't make sense to do. 20-plus years of home service experience, and they're combined with the new tools to simplify the entire process. So make it easy. On the Angie app, just answer a few questions. They'll handle the rest. See ratings and reviews, compare quotes from local pros, and connect instantly. Cross items off the to-do list in just a few taps. Whether it's routine maintenance or a dream remod, well, Angie makes it easy. Right, Dawson?
Get your next project done right with the help of a pro from Angie. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
There I'm newsman Ted Capo telling you that Brad Williams and the Ace Man will be there. Belly up. It's gonna be fun in Solana Beach, California, June 4th. I once had a three-way in Solana Beach. Man, both those men had very rough beards. Get your tickets. I'm Ted Capo.
Brad Williams going to be with us in Solana Beach. And you can go to Carolla. I think you go, you can watch the pay-per-view at Adam Carolla and Friends, of Adam Carolla and Friends, and that's June 4th. Brad's going to be there.
Brad's funny.
I love Brad. He was
stand-up.
super. When I became a mom, him and his wife were amazing. They came over and gave me a lot of
He's
stuff.
a sweetheart.
He's a sweetheart. Still a
You
sweetheart.
go to live1.com/Carolla.
What do you mean when you became a mom? Like a kid's party or something?
No, when I became a mom.
I thought you had him over to entertain your kid.
No, I should though, actually.
Yeah, or wrestling.
That'd be so great. She's tough. My daughter's tough.
Yeah.
Well, don't sleep on Brad.
No, he's got a low center of gravity.
Yeah.
I'm just serious. Like, he hits you low, you're screwed up. The wrestling, I'm from Iowa. Wrestling is such a huge sport.
Oh, yeah.
You never know.
Jersey, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Jersey. You know what? I always wonder about that. Like, there are sports on the East Coast that I feel like should be on the West Coast, like field hockey or lacrosse. I don't understand why they're not big here, considering the weather. They're so massive on the East Coast. Like, I played field hockey. I almost went to college for field hockey. It's so big. Nobody plays field hockey out here. It's such a great
Some
sport.
do.
No,
Prep
please.
schools play. Yeah, they do.
Let me tell you why.
Tell me why. Because they play pickleball?
No. Because we have a lot of Mexicans.
Okay.
And Mexicans play soccer.
Okay. True.
Because all third world and the reason soccer's the biggest sport in the world is because you can keep 20 Mexicans busy with one ball.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you want to talk about lacrosse and like outfitting a team, helmets and shoulder pads and nets and sticks and things. That's a bridge too far. That's way too much money.
Out here?
Yeah, all we need is a football field and one ball.
We play soccer on the East Coast too, but we play it all. Like, we play it all.
We don't do lacrosse.
Or
We're not
field
into
hockey.
lacrosse.
Field hockey's not even that much like gear. It's just a stick and a ball and some
We don't
shin
do
pads.
lacrosse. We don't do field hockey. We don't do skating. We don't do any hockey.
Iowa women play field
don't
hockey, and there's an Iowa women's wrestling team that's
And we don't
excellent.
wrestle.
Yeah, wrestling's huge on the East Coast too. It doesn't make sense.
We recruit a lot for the East
Yeah.
Coast. Yeah. Jersey.
All right.
All right. So Jerry Springer, just keeping it going from the grave. That's what he does, man. He just totally does. So there's a huge internet. It's gone. I mean, internet. There's a huge internet. Have you guys heard of the internet?
Oh, yeah.
There's a huge video that's gone viral. It's been going everywhere. It basically says that Springer, at his will reading, they found out that he fathered 2 secret children and left his entire fortune to them.
Nice. I wish it was me.
Jerry.
I think it is actually. Yeah,
Tommy.
Jerry.
Tommy.
But, all right, so he died last month, 79, quickly after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. The video is now circulating online. It appears that he's got some family secrets. He's reading his will out loud before his death. And on the right hand of the screen, we've got 5 people watching it.
Oh, that's him?
Yes.
That's really him?
Yeah, it is. It is actually him. Now, here's the thing. Guess what? This was from a play. It's acting. He was doing a reading, and somebody took this video and was able to dupe it and make it seem like this is his will reading. He's actually only got one child, one daughter. That's it. He basically talks about in this video, he talks about 2 daughters that he has, Jordan and Megan. And then he says he's leaving them, the homes in New Orleans. And then everything else is estate, and all the other properties are going to John and Misha. Mm-hmm. That's what he says. Turns out that's a part of a play. It was a play that he was reading, and somebody was able to take that, rework it, and make it seem like this is what's going on, which I think is kind of brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Because
brilliant,
it's Jerry Springer.
Yeah, I guess.
For him, it's brilliant. It was a smart thing to do and to get people thinking, oh my God. But I mean, if it was true, would anybody be shocked?
Wait a minute. He did this on purpose so people would laugh after he died?
No.
No.
So no,
He's doing
he
a
did
play.
this. He did a play.
Okay.
So basically, all these people started commenting. They're like, wow, he left all his property and his investments to these, by the way, his 2 black/biracial children that we never knew about. But it turns out, he never had any of this stuff going on here. It was a huge play that somebody actually wrote, guys, this is not real. It's a play that he did in 2020.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, he got around. I mean,
he definitely has illegitimate children. Let's just put that out there.
Mayor of Cincinnati and got busted for soliciting a prostitute.
Absolutely. So he's definitely probably has other children, don't you think? Odds are, maybe.
I couldn't tell you, but
no,
are we going to watch a clip of this?
Do we have the clip?
Do we have some of it? Okay.
Well, first off, I know you've been wondering why your mother has been left out of all this. The reality is, this is what she wanted. And I don't know what all she shared with you, but I hope you're open to hearing me. And believing me when I say she chose this. Well, really, I put her in an awful position, and then she did the same to me. Shortly after you were born, Jordan, I met and fell in love with another woman. And I had a child with her a year later. This was obviously very painful for your mother. It was painful for me. I found myself feeling things I'd never felt for someone I would have never imagined. It was confusing and complicated.
All right.
You think he'd be off book
It is
by
so,
now?
I know, it's so obvious that he's
when he
reading
takes
for a play.
when he clears his throat.
I know, it is. And he's looking at, and the play is called Blood Money, so this is all a part of it. But that's very clear that he's like reading something and trying to be a good actor. Don't you think that would not be... Would you believe that if you saw that, Adam?
No, unless he lived at Camp Lejeune.
I would believe it if you primed me to believe it. Like if you went... Did you see, you could even call it a prepared statement. Like, did you see the reading of the will?
Right.
And it's called the reading of the will. Like, maybe Jerry did a reading
I did
of his
believe you
will.
when you said it.
Well,
I
right.
said
That's
it,
true,
and I
right.
knew that going in, I would probably be duped.
I guess because I knew that it was from a play. But here's the real issue, as I'm like reading through this and thinking about all the deep fakes that are happening.
Yes.
I thought originally when the story first came out, I was like, oh, they did a deep fake, which is going to happen and people are going to get fucked. I just feel like you can deep fake anyone. And like there are people that are making deep fake phone calls, living people that are calling relatives and asking for money, and people are falling for it because it sounds like their loved one. It's a video. I mean, it's going to happen.
They're having the voice of the kid synthesized and asking for ransom money.
Yeah, that's so scary.
It's scary. It's also just like we have some of the. How did these people get on the planet? Like,
How?
What are you going to do for a living? Well, I'm not going to fucking work if that's what you're
Going to
meaning.
scam people out of a
I
lot of
call
money.
moms and get them to believe that their child has been abducted by synthesizing their voice and see if I can get 25 grand. Like, at some point, you got to look in the mirror, right?
Yeah.
Like we could go, well, Interpol's got to crack down on this, or we got to get border security beefed up because of the cartels, or we can't defund the police. At a certain point, people need to act like human beings. That would
that's
solve
true.
a lot of
How do you
this.
get them to do that, though?
I don't know. Like, first off, it starts with a reality show where I find the parents of the person that is accused of doing these kinds of
find
deep
out where
fakes.
it went wrong.
I just go, what the fuck?
What happened?
Like, what the fuck
What
did
happened?
you do to create this?
interesting.
Like, this is like, you know where I start? I start with Vandersloot's parents.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
I just go,
yeah.
How did you get here? Like,
Seriously.
you created this. Like, listen, my mom hoarded champagne and fed me TV dinners, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
I paid my taxes. I don't fucking kill Natalie Holloway.
He grew up in privilege. You know what I mean? He didn't even.
Where did this come from? Like,
Somewhere.
how did you create this? And then it's like, well, he kind of skated on that one, but then he went somewhere else and killed somebody else, and now he's got to pay the fiddler.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know what it's like. You just don't get tired of killing when you're 22.
Yeah.
And so then he went to like, I don't know, Puerto Rico and killed the maid or something
did,
because he
yes.
wasn't done killing.
He
And
wasn't.
it's like,
No.
and then he married a chick in prison.
Right,
It's like,
of course.
How do you create?
Yeah.
Where does this come from?
And he's not getting released now, right? He's being brought
to America,
for justice now because he was in a prison over. Where was he in prison?
I don't know. It was like Puerto Rico.
It was
or
in
on
Rockland.
some
It was in
island
Rockland.
somewhere.
But now he's coming back here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh. I believe. Oh, right. This is all going to be woven into my monologue with the Vandersloot clan. I'm going to crash their fucking reunion like nobody's business. before this, when Natalie Holloway is missing,
right,
he contacts the parents and goes,
her parents?
Yeah, her parents.
Yeah.
And says, I said the parents, I know we're on a theme, but her parents, and says, give me 50 grand, I'll tell you where she is.
Why don't I remember that?
I didn't even know that little fucking tidbit until I heard a more recent news story.
He did it as himself or fake it a voice or something?
Oh, he did it as Boris Karloff.
I'm sure he did it as himself. Like, I've got information. He's not incriminating himself. He's just saying, I have information. So
I swear you can look it up, Ben. But
why would he ask for that?
All right. I'm just saying he's season 1, episode 1 of What the Fuck Happened Here.
And then the other one is, what's his name? Why am I blanking on the actor?
We go to the guy. The next guy we go to is the Girls Gone Wild guy.
Girls Gone Wild guy, and then the actor who just got like slammed.
And by the way, I'm not interested in the gangbanger who shoots the kid in the crib because of errant gunshot or whatever. I mean, he's bad, but that's not going to be the theme.
Yeah.
The theme is what the fuck happened.
Yeah. I think Robert Kennedy Jr. should be a part of that.
Well,
he's a lunatic.
Hold on. We'll talk about him. He asked for $25K in advance on the on top of the $250K. Vandersloot.
What?
This is all going to be brought up.
Oh my God. How did that never come to light when all this was going on?
I have no idea. I felt like I followed this along with Norm Macdonald because we did a famous reenactment on the show, but as closely as the next guy, and had never heard about this at all.
And the housekeeper thing is real. The second person he killed, or the
person he's convicted of killing, I do believe, is a maid.
Oh,
I thought it was his girlfriend. That wasn't his girlfriend.
Maids date on occasion.
They do?
Well, they have. It's a. I invented a thing called rich man, poor man.
Right.
The things that only rich people and poor people do.
Yeah.
Fuck a maid.
That's right.
Either it's your buddy Arnold,
Bernie Brillstein,
or you live with her in an apartment in Van Nuys.
Yeah.
Like she comes home at some point.
Yeah, I'd like that.
So Army Hammer, that's who I was thinking of. What happened to him? Did you see that docuseries too? It's a good one.
Yeah, that was pretty weird, but there's no body count.
Yeah, but he ate people's, like
he said he wanted to.
I have a little
believe
insight.
he did. I think he did.
Okay, he, his family's super weird. Whatever,
super weird.
But,
that history of all of them are weird.
Yeah, and he was, he's gotten sober since then. I just want to say that, kind of working way, and that world of S&M, that's a different world, and he's a guy that wanted to get caught, doing these things, and he's also funny. So when he says stuff like "I want to eat you, eat your body," you can't just say that because someone may take that like you are a cannibal,
right?
And he did all the power stuff with these women, and I think in his head he's like, "Well, this is part of the sexual thing," but it's not. And I think he realizes that
right
after losing everything.
Season 3, if we get
Season 3.
We're starting with Vandersloot.
Preppy murders. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Well, there's the Billionaire Boys Club or the Millionaire Boys?
Yeah.
Vandersloot, who did he kill? Did he kill the maid or the girlfriend? The girlfriend that was the maid? I
can't believe it's been 20 years. I saw him coming out of prison.
I can't believe that either. It's been 20 years.
Yeah. He looks like a guy that's been in prison for 20 years.
It's been a while. I was just thinking of.
It's been longer. She's been dead longer than she was alive, which I always think about stuff like that. That makes me sad. She's been dead longer than she's been alive.
Right before you masturbate.
Yeah.
Standing up.
Thoughts. Yeah.
Right before you masturbate, standing up.
Dawes, you got me and Norm Macdonald recreating Vandersloot.
Oh, good.
Is Norm playing Vandersloot in this? Or am I playing Vandersloot? All right, because Vandersloot
talked to one of his buddies and said, like, "Hey man, eat your boat. We need to drown this girl." This was the hypothesis,
right.
And I guess this is the conversation they had.
It's already funny.
Hello,
Dowry, is this you?
Hey Vandersloot, what's happening?
Hey, listen, buddy, I'm in some trouble, man.
What's up?
I'm calling you from a payphone. I realize it's year 2006.
What do you need to borrow some money or something? What happened to that cell phone? Yeah, anyway, what do you need? You need to borrow 20 spot?
Now, this is the thing, man.
What'd you do? Vomit on your shirt or something? You need a new shirt?
No, I met a hot lady.
All right.
Yeah, down at the casino.
Uh-huh.
And I brought her to a remote section of the beach. You know how I work.
Right. I know your M.O.
Yeah.
What do you need, a condom or a roofie or something?
No, I already have those. I've already used those.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, I mean, this girl wanted it bad.
Yeah, cool.
You know
what do you need, a
talking
towel or something?
Nah, that's not it. You remember that boat you had?
What do you need, some water-soluble lube?
No.
Yeah,
it's over with. It was a hot.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I got a boat. What of it?
I was wondering if I could borrow it for a while.
Why? What do you want me to do with the boat?
Well, she may be dead or in a coma.
Right.
And I was thinking we throw her in the chuck.
Oh, so we toss her in the boat? And what, like drive her to a hospital?
No. What about the ocean?
So let me get this straight. You met a chick at Carlos and Pepe's.
Yeah, she was hot. I did a jello shot off her belly.
You did a jello shot. You dropped a digit on her on the beach, and now you want me to drag her into the ocean and throw her in because she's passed out?
Yeah, but I don't want to go. I don't want to go with
cool.
you. Is it cool if I don't go with you?
So hold on a second, because a minute ago I was watching the Honeymooners and enjoying a Zima. Now you want me to get up, pop on the Hirachis, head down to the beach?
Yeah.
Are you going to help me load her onto the boat?
No, I got to get home.
Okay, so let me just digest this for a second. She may or may not be dead.
She will be, though.
Okay, but as of now, she may still have a pulse.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Okay, so you want me to swing by, but you won't be there, and then I should grab her and drag her across the sand, and then toss her onto my boat, and then drag her a couple kilometers off the shore, and then dump her in the ocean, and then go back home, and you're going to be where?
And what you do with her before that's up to you.
Oh, my God, Norm McDonald.
You
and Norm.
Yeah, that was a story. It was a true story that Vandersloot, called his dude.
No.
Really?
Yeah, Dawson should have let me set that up.
But you know what? That doesn't shock me. I would definitely see him as somebody that would make a call like, oh, shit, I don't know what just happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a story that he called a buddy with a boat and told him to clean up. After him.
Mess.
But all right, so what did he do, Ben? How does the internet work where you can't find it? Did he killed a maid or he killed his girlfriend?
No, his girlfriend.
His girlfriend. But it was in a hotel. You're staying in a
I don't
hotel.
see evidence that she was his girlfriend, but he picked her up at a poker room or something.
Oh.
And killed her in a hotel room? All right.
Yes.
So
she was in a hotel.
She might have been a
maid
at some point.
Anyway, it's all stuff we're going to... Season one, episode one.
You start right out by that.
What happened here?
So he's married now? Like, this dude's fucking married?
He got married
in prison.
I need to go
in
to prison.
But then she dumped him.
Well,
at a certain point,
because she's marrying another inmate.
Yeah,
who
women love to marry fucking murderers.
Killed a real maid who actually killed a maid.
Good-looking women want to there's marry murderers.
Oh, by the way, I went on that site where you can hook up with a convict.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing,
really?
and you can read.
You'll do anything for sperm.
I will fucking give it to me now.
Put it between the bars.
Whatever, just give it to me. But honestly, reading their letters, it's one of the best dating sites I've ever been on. Just to it's really fun.
My sister's prison boyfriend, he was in another prison, and he would jerk off an envelope and just mail it to her.
But how did they?
Then
even
he'd get on crusty. But no, she knows that's what he did, so it's
just
pleasureful.
crusty?
But that's a prison way to have sex. He was our cousin. But he also worked for her for a while.
Okay.
Two of her husbands died in prison.
Oh.
Are we talking manila envelope or just standard
like a white envelope? And the guards are going to check it. So you jerk off, and by the time he gets there, it's crust, whatever. The guards don't even realize.
The guards actually touched it and licked it.
Probably,
because they have to see what it is, what that substance is.
Yeah, I know.
It's a thought that counts.
Protocol.
It's protocol.
You're right.
So
rules are rules.
There is there's some powder in an envelope. They have to test it, and they're going to do that. And then someone's like, "That's a dude's sperm." And now,
yep, reason 128. Have to be a prison guard. Yeah, I don't know if they would lick it, but I I still wouldn't want to be that guard.
No.
You know what I mean?
Someone touched it.
Jack it off in prison. Jerk it off in prison, though. That's, you got to be like fucking.
Fast.
You got to be able to stand up.
And be fast, right? You got to be fast.
You got to be very fast.
Yeah.
Silent but deadly.
Yeah. What? Are we farting in prison?
No, I know. Sorry.
No, you need. I think you have to establish a certain protocol and respect for your cellmate in that situation.
True.
You know what I mean?
You got to be quiet. So if you're thinking about Barbarella,
you can do it together too. If you get a real good protocol, you're like, dude, it's time.
I don't think I'd try to be up there on that second bunk with the squeaky springs trying to pull anything off.
Top bunk or bottom bunk when you got to prison? What would you pick?
I like to think of myself as a top.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Because I think it sets a precedent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at some point, sex is going to go down.
You've already got shit in front of your roommate.
You want to be grandfathered into the top.
That's
you know what I mean? You want to be the bottom bunk.
I think they learn to deal with it. They do all their stuff. They learn one guy shitting in the middle of the room there. The guy will turn around to have a little respect. And then
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got beat off in an envelope. You're going to take
You want him to beat off. If it's your cellmate, you want that fucker calmed down. And beating off calms you down, as you know.
I obviously know.
I feel like it's become a theme of today's show.
It's a good idea.
But I also feel like we've learned a lot.
I think we should end the show by all of us beating off.
Well,
you have to give me a minute.
Yeah.
I got to get some shit going in my head.
Put up Barbarella back on the screen.
Yeah, I already did one when you were talking about masturbating, Jodi, so I hope that doesn't offend you.
No, not at all.
It's really more of an homage.
It really is.
All right, let's bring it home. Skinny Jodi Miller. Killed someone he met in the hotel, but just met her.
Yeah, well, obviously. He just met Natalie, too. He doesn't want to kill somebody.
Once you've killed somebody, honest to God, you've broken the fucking cherry. It's easier to kill a lot of other people. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First one's hard.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I don't think it was hard for him, though.
What? He comes from an affluent family.
So affluent, too.
That his dad made TV dinners.
All the time. He lives in Aruba. I've been to Aruba. My mom and I used to go there all the time. Like once a year, that was our family trip. It's the most beautiful, serene, friendliest place you can ever be.
She was trying to get you killed.
She did.
She wasn't as great at mom.
Why don't you sleep on the beach tonight, hon, out front of the casino?
Okay.
Meet a rich guy.
Okay.
Yeah, meet a nice guy from Vandersloot must be
Dutch.
Dutch.
Yes,
oh,
he's Dutch.
perfect. All right. Tom Arnold,
Yes.
live shows everywhere. And the series Fubar, May 25th on Netflix. Jodi Miller, Skinny Jodi Miller. JodiMillerComedy.com. Me, I'm going to be in New York. I'm going to be in Oklahoma City this weekend.
Jesus.
And then Friday and Saturday at the Bricktown Comedy Club, and then Sony Hall in New York, May 26th and 27th, and then the Solana Beach Belly Up show that we told you about with Brad Williams. Just go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. Until next time, Adam Carolla for Jodi Miller and Tom Arnold saying, mahalo.